It's it's still romantic. Those lights across that corner. Anyway, Lordy, and the Lord said, "Paddle, you shall have paddle," and we have paddle. Because I thought it was going to rain, guys. I'll be honest with you. I thought we were going to have like a deluge, and then we'd have to get the heaters going. And when the heaters go, they dry up the courts, and there is much rejoicing. I'm trying to be as biblical as possible, which is sacrilegious, really, because we're not in the house of worship. But in a way, we kind of are. For those of you paddle junkies, paddle. Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it. So anyway, Sean Albrecht with you. It's a CPTC live stream coming at you again. One more night. Yeah, this is the finals, though. Not that everybody's match isn't important, but these are even more important. So tonight we got the Series 3 finals first. And what you're looking at is, if I'm not mistaken, it's Wilmette versus Life Sport. Am I right, guys?
That is correct.
And when I say guys, I'm talking to Trey Scott, and Cal Noble, my venerable co-commentators on the broadcast. And so where they're about to get going here, they just had a nice warm-up, had some hot chocolate, a little bit of poetry and stuff. Now they're pretty much ready to go here. I'm joking about the poetry. The hot chocolate, though. So serving will be Arun Jagaja. And his partner is Peter Hammond in the blue hat and the gray long sleeve, the Viking longship. And then there's Blair Lockhart on the other side, and Mike Morrison for Wilmette. So that's the Wilmette Sequoia / Sycamores. I'm trying to think of the tree, analogies, guys. That's a cutter, for a first cutter in the first point of the match. Unbelievable. Sit down. He got there. Look at the unbelievable. All right, well, if this is any indication, it's going to be quite a matchup.
Now, Sean, have you or Trey, either of you, ever been in the finals of your series?
No.
In my heart, I have.
In my mind, I've never been in the finals. No, just not made that latest round. I don't know whether I just run out of gas or I'm just not good enough. I think it's both.
Well, I was going to ask you to speculate between the ears of these gentlemen here on their finals match.
Well, you know what? There's such a thing as they call it either mid-season form, late-season form. Okay, right there, which is interesting, because Blair, sometimes you try to save yourself there. He could have taken one more step. But at this point, these guys have been playing together for a while, at least presumably, for a while, and that's why they're where they are at. So I would think, things are going to you just got to get rolling, because Blair's got actually really nice forehand. So sometimes you still got to get warmed up to the match speed here. Quick 40 love for Jagaja and Hammond. And they got the wings in lefty-righty thing happening. It's a nice lob from Lockhart there. He's going after the drive. And this early, it's still kind of warm. And I don't mean that it's really, balmy out there, but it is pretty warm out there. We're talking in the 50s.
I think this is the warmest night we've had all week.
I think you're right, Trey. Look at that.
And judging from the weather, I don't think we're going to see a 20-degree drop. It should just be, I think we're at 54 or something around there now, and it's going to be like 45.
I think you're right, Cal. And if anything, maybe some humidity, which might make it seem colder.
I think this is the first time that the Wilmette Willows are at the net here.
They have seized it. Oh, Morrison going after kind of a lower forehand volley. But I guess, you're just trying to get a feel and get oriented and acclimated. I love the spirit out there, the sportsmanship, camaraderie. Am I getting too corny for you guys? But seriously, I just kind of like that. Guys are already smiling at each other. They're, in a good mood. They want to win, but
it's a nice day. They can smell the barbecue.
That's, you know what?
There's fans in the stands. We're ready to go.
You know what? And it's not because there's fans in the stands, not because of the barbecue, even though that barbecue is.
Let's give a shout out quickly to Court 2 over here. A man, I think that was Eddie Trapp, who has been on the stream 3 or 4 times. I think he's the person who's been on the most, jumped over a ball to allow his teammate to get it behind him.
Did he really?
That was impressive.
Wow. So this is how comprehensive the coverage is here for the CPTC live stream. We'll even cover the court next to the court we're covering if we can. That's a great serve. And unbelievable. If you want to talk about a perfect paddle serve, hitting the nick like that, Blair Lockhart just hit it. Unbelievable. 15 love. Wilmette serving down 1 love. That's a great screen drive from Jagaja. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, I've played against Arun a bunch of times here, and he is fabulously talented. So it's going to be a tough road for the ad side over there. He's got a Western forehand, and it is nasty once he gets it rolling. So I can just tell you that. The rest of these guys are just very talented as well, no question. I'm just telling you, I've been on the court many times with you. And of course, did I jinx him? Guys, I think I just did. You know, backhand is no picnic either, but he did miss that one. But like I said, that forehand can be a game changer sometimes.
And I know both Peter and Arun have fantastic drives. The question is, are they going to pick the right moments to hit him today?
Great point, Coach. Great point. Because it's all about shot selection.
And I think the important part is it is 50 degrees, so that net team better hit the right screens because it'll be coming back as a screamer as well.
No question. Of course, the drives are going to fly a little bit because it is warm up. He's going to, it's clean living, as they say, right off the net court with that overhead. We're at 40-15. Well met. Lockhart to serve again. I suppose if you're going to cash one, you do it there.
Yeah, well, obviously it's not a hugely important game, still being the second one, but I think after losing the first game 4-0, you're going to want to make sure that you get a little bit of momentum on your side, which they've done so far.
That's a great point, Cal. Okay, that's that forehand I was talking about. And, of course, I think it hit his foot. Yeah, so he Ronaldo'd that ball back over the net, but he called it on himself. Go ahead.
Speaking of great sportsmanship, calling that ball
I was
and
gonna
stopping
say,
the point.
I was just going to say that, Trey. You're absolutely right. Again, the spirit of the game. I mean, okay, so it's not bringing tears to my eyes, but I'm getting emotional in a certain way.
Just a little.
Yeah. Nice cover from Morrison. That's going to work, actually. Oh, and he won't back off. You got to, you know what I'm going to say is, I would not advise that as a coach to stay in there like that, especially from the service line. But you know what? If you got hands like Mike Morrison, I suppose you could probably maybe even get away with it. So,
Mike Morrison's a bit of a tennis player, correct,
a bit
Sean?
of a tennis player is an understatement. I'll tell you that much. We can talk about that in a second. A little long with the serve.
And that's going to be game.
So that's a quick break from 40-15 up, and that's, I shouldn't say quick, but that's definitely a break from 40-15 up. I don't know. Again, we're early, as you said, Cal, so it may not come back to haunt him. And then Peter Hammond's got the lefty magic going with the serve. And that one kind of almost hit the nick, too, if we got that great camera work from Cal. I'll be patronizing. I don't mind. Well, he really ripped that thing.
Wow.
I'm not sure that was in, though. I think that was a fault, no. So, love 15. That is, there we go. He's there. Shot.
Yeah, and really, I think that, the life sport has been up at the net pretty much every point here, for the most part, with a few exceptions, but they have definitely been dominating the net game.
Seem to be comfortable with that, especially with some of the rollers they're able to hit. And again, wings in, it's as long as they communicate, it's going to be definitely an advantage, if you will.
I think that ball was out, correct?
It was.
Yeah.
And I think that they're coming up a lot because they're big drives. They're going to take over the net, I think, a lot in this match. And kudos to Mike and Blair to give up the net and let them take it.
Yeah, that's kind of, I'm telling you, that is a live kick serve. But yeah, you're right, Trey. Sometimes it just takes discipline to say, you know what, no big deal. We'll play from the baseline. It's not the worst thing in the world. Sometimes a lot of tennis players just think that that's kind of defense, and believe it or not, you're playing a little bit of offense from the baseline. In paddle, that is. So 30 all. Hammond to serve from Life Sport. He's going to let that, there's just long by about an inch. I guess it was 40-15 if that's game.
Yeah, so I guess that ball wasn't out then.
Geez, you know what? We were just surmising that it was. Yeah, let's put Hawkeye on the budget for next year. Yeah, sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, that won't cost much. They'll take it out of my check, whatever. And then I'll have to pay it off because it'll just be in the negative after a while. I'm just kidding. I do fine. Anyway, so Jagaja and Hammond from Life Sport up 3-love. Kind of comfortable in a way. I mean, it is the finals. And again, a little bit warmer than normal, to Trey's point.
Well, they want that. It's a vest or a hat?
Yes.
Yeah. They're laying it all out.
The coveted hat.
They're
Yeah.
laying out.
Laying it on
Is
the
it
line.
mugs and hats now? They're
Yeah,
laying
mugs.
out there. Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's
yeah.
mug and hat night. It was going to be Pope hat night. That's why I got biblical at the intro. But they decided to go with mugs and hats tonight, and hopefully they won't keep coming to the booth for them. All right, so Mike Morrison to serve.
The four-time
For Wilmette.
state champion.
That's right. That bears mentioning. There's no question about it, Cal. Mike Morrison, 4-time. That's in a row. I mean, if you're me, I had to go back to high school, 4 or 5 times out of 9 or 10 years. So this guy, 4 years in a row. What are you laughing at? 4 years in a row. Won the state title. So try doing that. I mean, just twice is amazing. 3 times is just Herculean, and 4 times, I mean, I don't know what you say. You just start thinking he's a prophet. He's literally speaking to the Lord to be biblical about it. By the way, great drive off
read
the
the
serve.
Bible recently?
Yeah, these guys are starting to swing. I'm talking about Jagaja and Hammond. I'm going to ignore that last one. Have I read? Of course I have.
No, recently.
Oh,
'cause
I'm sorry.
You're really getting into it.
Let's see it. Wow. Speaking of getting into it,
Yeah, practicing a little bit of calf warm up
that's,
there.
yeah, I know. Pete's getting kind of psyched there. So they're taking their swings. Oh, you know what? You just, again, clean living, but that's just, I hate to see that happen, because when you're down a break point and he's taking a swing like that, and honestly, Mike was there with the volley.
Yeah.
All right, so for love, in favor of life sport, Arun Jagaja with the first serve of his tenure here, and it's a good one. Yeah, you know what, his lefty-righty combination, when you get, as we say, wings out, you do have to communicate a lot, because you got 2 forehands in the middle there, and sometimes there's going to be, a certain amount of fighting for the ball.
Yeah, I don't hear much communication from these guys.
You know what?
I think
There
they're
is,
just in sync.
after about 10, 11, 12 matches
Yeah.
during the season, you pretty much get a feel, of what your partner can do and what you can do. So that doesn't mean you shouldn't be. I think. Oh, I just missed it. I was going to say he's going to try the. I mean, if you're up 4-love, I suppose you can try the tweener.
Style points.
No question about
Well, I'm not sure what that was because the call was out.
it. Okay. Are you motioning that you thought it was good? Cal, did you motion to him? You thought it was good?
No.
Okay, I don't know who he's talking to. Okay, because I think he
I
thinks
believe it was out.
Okay,
it looked
I
long.
didn't see anything.
It looked long. I mean, just from Trey, you saw it long, right?
I did, yeah.
Not that we should be calling it, but I'm just saying that was a great return from Lockhart. Oh, great return. And actually, Jagaji almost pulled that off. All right, so 30-15 live sport. And that's a little more like Mike Morrison, by the way. He can just flatten it out at any. But believe me, make no mistake, that guy can hit the fuzz off the ball if there's any fuzz on it at this point in the match. Anyway, another great return, and hey,
These drives are starting to heat up here now.
there you go. So 4-1 live sport, but Wilmette scratching back.
And on a break, no less.
Yes. And as they say, it's not a break until you hold. Yeah. I wanted to try to have somebody else finish that so I didn't seem so cliched.
I've never heard
Ever
that.
heard that?
Actually.
Well, I think I'm older than both you guys put together, and then
That
maybe
is.
one other person walking in here, so maybe that's one of the reasons why. What a great dig on the, and again, he won't move. I would say, and again, I'm not being critical. It's easy for me to say right here, but I'm not sure. Blair, and again, he's got great hands, but I'm not sure I wouldn't have bailed out being down 1-4 on that one, but you know what, nice try. And a great shot from Hammond. And the ball is jumping, and that is just jumping off of his paddle. Typical of a 50-plus degree day. That had some nice, that was a mule right there, that thing. And I think Pete's feeling it a little bit, so he's taking a little bit more of a cut than he normally might, just because he feels like they have the advantage. 15-30, though.
Yeah, definitely an important game in the set here. You don't want to go down. 5-1.
Exactly. That was a nice serve. Even though it gave Jagaja a screen drive, it was not the easiest, most balanced screen drive. So sometimes you can't serve it a little too hard, but it depends on where you put it. So 30 all. It's a good lob. And I like when Pete showed the blitz there, even if he didn't follow through on it, no pun intended. It's always a good idea.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? He's Jagaji is very deceptive. Like every so often, you won't even doesn't even look like he's going to swing at it, and he just absolutely tattoos a drive. Good hands. Okay, one more time. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, that Morrison from behind the service line can get that kind of angle.
Impressive reach there.
Yep. There it is. Got a little nick out of that one. Awesome rally. He scraped up his... Arun has scraped up his knuckles and fingers on the screen. He may need to get that looked at. I don't know. We do have a bunch of doctors in the house. We have to mention it. It's our primary sponsor, if not, our savior, if you will. Again, I'm making the religious references, guys. Please bear with me. I don't know what's happening. But Illinois Bone and Joint Institute is our sponsor, and I'm not so sure Arun Jagaji is a medical professional. I can't remember what he does, but anyway, so he may need to get his hand looked at. So we're gonna take a little break here. Maybe we can even you want to hit a...
Well, I mean, it looks like they're about to go back, and I'm not sure
Are
what's
you
going
sure?
on here.
Because he's bleeding. I think what they're supposed to do is patch that thing up until he stops bleeding. In other words, get something on there so he doesn't bleed all over the court. I think it's a hygiene.
All right, well then, yeah, we can
Let's give it
go
a shot.
to our sponsors. Yeah.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute is the best choice for orthopedic care. Our walk-in ortho access clinics provide treatment by orthopedic specialists without a trip to the ER. With evening and weekend hours, we provide your family with excellent care when it matters most. Visit ibji.com to find an ortho access.
All right, we're back. Arun Jagaji has repaired his doorbell. That's a reference from an old Pink Panther movie. But anyway, I just hope he's okay, seriously. Arun Jagaji scraped his fingers trying to go after a ball on a side screen, and he's just administering repairs, if you will, right now. So we just want to make sure we tell everybody. Just so you know, this is the CPTC live stream, and technically, this is kind of sad to say, it's our last broadcast of the season. I mean, am I wrong? It is. We got two. We're doing a double header tonight, which is good.
Yeah.
But it is, I think, our last broadcast, at least official broadcast.
It did,
didn't it, Trey?
No, not really for me.
All
Anyways.
right, Cal, fine.
I can say we had a long.
Says the guy that doesn't play paddle over here.
Exactly.
I mean, my goodness.
Exactly. I can't get enough, Anyway, all right, here we're back. And Blair Lockhart to serve with their ad, which is ad in right now. Advantage well met. So you can get,
So Trey, you were talking just while we were at break a little bit about Mike Morrison and Blair Lockhart not utilizing the middle of the court.
Yeah, I think when we're down 4-1 like this, and going back to that 30-all point, even though they won it, there was very few, if any, balls hit to reset the point down the middle, and that's a play that I think we're just going to need to keep going back to if we want to sustain longer points and get ourselves in better positions.
It's a great point, Trey, especially when you're behind. Middle third of the court's probably just premium real estate. You're better off doing that. Wow. Great serve by Lockhart. That thing kicked like a mule as well. I mean, it was about a foot from the top beam. So 4-2, Life Sports still ahead. Arun putting on what looks to be a Hulk Band-Aid. I think it's of the Marvel. Yeah. Seriously, it looks like some type of...
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, there you go. Why not?
That's
Anything
a great
green?
point to add. I'm pretty disappointed that none of these men are wearing green today for this wonderful St. Patrick's Day.
You know what? It's
Yeah.
okay. There's green
the
beer
court's
inside
doing
the...
it for 'em.
You know, that's exactly it. You know, and hopefully things will be green for the next couple of weeks as the weather gets warmer. I know I'm trying to issue some type of corny segue again. You know, I think there's a award for that, and I think I won it already.
Well,
Okay, so Pete Hammond to serve it up at 4-2. Life Sport ahead in this first set, Series 3 final for CPTC. Got to give it to Blair. He's starting to heat it up a little bit. That hit the tape, so he's hitting it on the nose now. I mean, even 6 games in, you're still trying to find your bearing a little bit, no matter how much you warm up. Nice. Sometimes you just got to get grooved. There's a music cue right there if I've ever heard one. Oh, that was actually a really good move from Morrison. The problem is it's tougher to cover the line from that position after you're already on one side of the court. But theoretically, great idea. 15-all.
and why don't we give a shout out? We can see just how many people are sitting out there under the rom-com lights now, but
Oh,
also in
yeah.
the parking lot. These guys definitely have quite the audience.
No question. Yeah, those lights, I'm telling you, there's something about them. There'll be a couple of proposals tonight. Okay. Okay, maybe not marriage proposals, but something there.
Business proposals.
Exactly. It looked a little long. I'm just going to say it. Mike Morrison called that just a little back. I think it was, though. So 40-15.
Yeah, so I guess he didn't call it.
Oh, that was out. All right, so 40-30. Live Sport, again, up 4-2 in the Series 3 final. You know what's interesting is that I know like some of these guys from the tennis court, and it's interesting to see how their game translates paddle-wise. And for the most part, it's pretty impressive just because, like I said, whether they played a lot or not, you know, paddle that is, that they can kind of acclimate. All right, there's game. Nice hold by Pete Hammond there. Even missing a couple of serves, well, at least one.
Yeah.
5-2 Live Sport. And this is moving along, I got to say. Maybe more to your point, Trey. Got to maybe slow it down. Am I wrong? I mean, again, not looking to be critical, because like I said, you know, I think these guys better halves would beat me 0-0. But the point I'm trying to make is probably better off trying to slow it down a little bit, and then again in the middle of the court, sit. Oh, he got there. Okay, you know what? Talk about an impossible shot to get back for Pete Hammond.
And he almost made it.
That was pretty impressive. Because I mean, that hung on the net for like an eternity and then basically rolled down the front part of the net, making it basically impossible to get back. Good leave by Mike Morrison. And again, there's that cut by Arun. He'll do that on a regular basis. Puts usually a little more top on the ball, to be honest with you. That's nice pace. Okay, again, now a lot of students that I've had at, of course, I'm just going to mention it, Lakeshore Country Club, where I'm an assistant. Yeah, I'm allowed to admit that now. I mean, I wasn't allowed before.
Yeah.
They were like ashamed of me. But anyway, we'll always talk about not swinging the ball a lot from deuce to add and add to deuce. These guys will do it strategically, and they'll maybe freeze somebody out with a couple balls, and then all of a sudden, that was a great shot from Morrison. Starting to hone in on that Nick, especially with the overhead. Well, anyway, they're able to swing the ball on a regular
And I
basis.
think that's a great point to add, but I'd love to see it maybe a little less. You know, where if we can pick someone in this match and get them working a little bit more, it might open up that other side of the court.
Great point, Trey.
But to
Yeah,
keep going back and forth, we're not exposing anyone at that
no,
point.
or not picking on anybody either. There's always the what does Coach McClure call it? The push-up principle. You can do one, but let me see if you can do 75 in a row.
Absolutely.
It's a nice lob. Not easy to do down the line like that.
That being said, as much as we're swinging the ball side to side, we are covering and shifting impeccably.
That is true, Trey. And I say let that be a lesson for those at home that unfortunately had to have me as an instructor. The ball is on one side, especially if it's in front of you, you're the drive stopper. It's a good serve, but Morrison handled it. Good leave. Again, you know what? Kind of bad luck for Blair there. That wasn't a bad lob. I think it's just so warm, relatively speaking, for paddle, that just carried a little too much. All right, if I'm not mistaken, what are we looking at, 35? Or 15 all, excuse me, 15 all?
That's a great serve out wide.
It is. And you know what? Kind of baiting him to go up the line, no, Trey?
Absolutely.
You know?
Serving it out wide, trying
Yep.
to see if he'll sneak it up there.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of is in the right area, but it's just a difficult shot on the high part of the net there. And in paddle, it's a much shorter court than, you know, most tennis players would like to admit, so you can't really get away with this. Great return. I mean, talk about great location right there.
Absolutely. Got it below the net, made him play a tough ball.
Awesome for Mike Morrison there. So 30 all, still hanging here. Okay, he just went for the whole farm there. Couple of acres, maybe more than he needed to. I know I'm trying to go with this analogy a little too far. Okay. So this is a set point right here for Life Sport. That's good pace. It just goes to show you, I mean, there are a couple different paces of drives. And they'll talk about some of the better drivers in our league and just around the country will drive the ball just fast enough that their balance and their position will allow. That's a good roller. Wow, he got it. Unbelievable. Oh. Crazy good dig from Morrison. Just a cover. Geez, I was already going to get a sandwich. I thought that point was over. Okay, another set point here. I'm always going to get a sandwich, though.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Sean, just before we went live, was eating a 2-day-old sandwich. 3-day-old, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not 3. It's 4. So, again, I guess a set point, you can go for that. Was that a two-hander from Hammond right there? No, that was his forehand, yeah. I was going to say, it almost looked like he hit it with two hands. Just a good shoulder turn, I suppose.
Yeah.
Back to deuce. Wilmette still hanging on. I almost like the idea of the blitz as long as the return is in the right spot. And again, if they're going I, you probably have to go down the line, make sure your partner knows that. Anyway, another set point.
Yeah, they are not, set points are not coming at a premium in this game.
He's there. Oh. And there is the first set. So we are going to go to a break, and we will be back with the second set for Series 3 in a moment.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute is the best choice for orthopedic care. Our walk-in ortho access clinics provide treatment by orthopedic specialists without a trip to the ER. With evening and weekend hours, we provide your family with excellent care when it matters most. Visit ibji.com to find an ortho access.
All right.
We're back.
We are back. Again, CPTC live stream. Series 3 finals. Dun, 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 dun. Where's the applause? Hold on. There we go. Yeah.
Nice.
You know, I'm just saying, it should be like
Can
that.
you now play the one that happens every time, Sean, you walk in a room? Nope, not the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that was the one. Someone follows him around with a tuba.
No, that's just me. I'm just that fat.
I think he has better health insurance than you.
Everybody's got better health insurance than I do. That's not true, because I'm happy to say, you know, when you've got a working wife, it's awesome. Anyway, yeah, it took, but I was not smart enough to figure it out. Not that this is anybody's business. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I think it's because of the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. I think that's why. We're supposed to be visited by a couple of venerable physicians from there, or doctors from there. Yes. So, from the Illinois Bone and Joint, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I got a couple of questions for them I want to make sure I answer. But I found out, you know, after about 5 years of putting up with my health plan, with my job, that my wife's health plan was 3 times better than mine was. I'm kind of like, why are we? When she was like, you're just an idiot,
Well,
which is
these things
true,
happen.
you know. Anyway, all right. So if Wilmette's going to regroup, Trey and Cal, Trey, what do you think? They're going to regroup. What do you do? I mean, you mentioned it before. I mean, the middle third of the court, great idea. Any other ideas that might, you know, cross the mind of Blake Lockhart and Mike Morrison?
Well, again, they both have great drives. I just think we need to be looking for the right opportunities. And I think right now, Arun and Peter are just volleying so well. We have to be able to take those drives inside the court rather than even near the baseline. They have too good of hands, and they're waiting for those.
Sure. And as a matter of fact, half the time, maybe setting up a drive with a little bit better lob. Sometimes we get, not that you need to take a chance on them, not so much depth, but some height. Because the only way you really have time to blitz sometimes is a little bit higher lob. Get some skywalking stuff going. This is a great atmosphere today. First of all, we got the, we got a couple, just some celebrities in the racket sports, local racket sports scene. And
In the Chicago.
yeah,
racket
absolutely.
sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say local, I mean, I guess it is Chicago. It could be Chicago land. I love
The North
that.
Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, also not to underscore, we have quite a match going on.
On
the
court two.
next to us, yeah.
Head trap. You know, I was just going to say, sooner or later we'll be able to just get the drone going and just bring it over there. And even if it is distracting, as you have mentioned before.
Well, we could get some cool opening shots with
No
it.
question.
The drone budget is coming directly out of Sean. He's just got a
What?
real passion.
You know,
He's got a real passion for it.
didn't I just buy lunch the other day with him?
Well,
All right,
I
fine.
bought the drinks.
Okay, fine. You're right.
Yeah. And
No, I don't mind that.
You guys got lunch?
I'll be
yeah,
sorry,
well,
Trey. Sorry.
Also with the gas prices, I had avoided buying gas since they started going up. You know, really watching my mileage, getting about
Sure.
26 miles to the gallon.
That's pretty good
it was
for your
impressive.
car.
And I had to go to the gas station this morning, and it was $85 for 15 gallons.
Wait. Wow. What do you
Yeah.
get? Racing fuel? I mean,
Well,
85.
I mean, I need the premium, and I was at Costco, Sean.
Wow.
It was like $4.80.
Wow.
You know, and but it's okay.
Are you getting the 7-gallon jug of mayo or something from Costco? What are you buying at Costco?
Well, I just have the
Isn't
Costco
this
card for
interesting?
gas. You know, we're gonna take. This is probably the only thing I have enough knowledge to talk about, Sean.
Oh,
is
stop it.
the Costco membership card. I cannot. Maybe they'll sponsor us. I cannot recommend it enough. Even if you just go there often, it's about $100 a year. You're
Yeah.
easily saving $150, $250 on gas, depending on how much you get it.
Well, if you've got to get, I suppose, some ibuprofen or whatever.
Exactly. Buy it bulk.
Just buy it in bulk. Get a backpack full of ibuprofen if you've injured yourself. But if you really have injured yourself and you need some medical attention, IBJI. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Especially
Look,
these on-court injuries that you hate to see, but if
No
there's one
que-
place that they're excited to see you, well, not excited, but
No, but if you got to go, all right.
Yeah.
Second set here. Blake Lockhart.
Blair.
I should say Blair Lockhart. Sorry. To serve.
Blake Lockhart's someone famous, isn't he?
I think he is, but you know what? I should be a little bit more conscientious, and I'm sorry. One more strike against me, and I have to leave. That's the way it works. That's the rule.
That's the way of the world.
The Judester. That's what it is. That's the Judester rule right there. All right, so 15 love.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, that is a new ball.
All right, so you got. I was going to say there are a couple guys in the crowd that.
And this is why we bring spectators.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that ball, you got to respect the sportsmanship because that was close. They could have called that, but they played it.
You know, I don't know why they're making all these comments about Mike Haber. He's like one of my favorite people. But anyway, and they're all pleasantly derogatory. But anyway, but he maybe just didn't. He didn't.
That was the name of my band in high school, Sean.
Is that right?
Pleasantly derogatory.
Really? I know that's right. And then when you had your DJ was DJ Wallpaper. I think it was DJ Wallpaper or
something like that.
Yeah. All right, so we're 30-15. Blair Lockhart, not Blake. Don't call me Blake. To serve. Lob.
Now, Sean,
there we go.
You have some tenure in paddle. After losing a set, how important is it to come out and win that first game?
You know what? Great question. First of all, I mean, obviously it's important just to win any games.
Right.
But yeah, the first game, it's a nice. There was. He's going to get it. Unbelievable reach from Hammond right there. But there's no question. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Now we're talking about. Hopefully it didn't go in the fire over there. But now we're talking about warmth. I mean, you definitely, if he didn't really even hit that hard. That waterfall cleared the top bar by a good foot. So we're talking warm temperatures. 30 all. Still battling for this first game. It's good. It's good. Blair's there. Nice roller. And I'm going to notice the speed, too. Peter Hammond's got a really nice pace on his reset. One is as valuable as most people don't even just underestimate how valuable that really is.
Right.
And now it's a break point down. We'll get to that in a second. Good first volley. It's a good touch. He's there. Some speed. And let's see if they stay. No, they're not going to switch back there. Maybe they will. It's good. He's
wow.
There. He got it. Cover from Morrison. This is a heck of a point there. We just hauled off on that one.
Yeah, the speed that these gentlemen are whipping this paddle ball around.
He hit that.
Oh,
It got him. Now that's some serious top. I mean, if you think about it, he took a full cut, and that thing got over the net maybe 6 inches and dropped literally on Arun, and Arun was 2 feet from the net, so that's some serious rotation.
I might be
Back
the
to
only
deuce.
one not counting, but it is 1-3 in terms of
Bean
hitting
ball?
players.
Tell you what, Pete Ham is trying to get on top of that, and while I am impressed that he's able to, Trey, would you maybe just let him go to the screen every so often? Probably have a better shot at it. Am I wrong?
I think so. Blair's hitting such a great serve, but with this warm weather, it's going to come off.
I mean, it's easy for me to say, first of all, they did win the first set, so what do I know? But
what do you know? A lot about paddle.
There we go. Well,
important win there.
We're only with, yes.
But this is where paddle matches can go, as well as your first drive is being hit in the first set. Second set is a completely different story.
No question. Besides the volleyers start to warm up a little bit, they seem to get their paddles up a little quicker. They're a little more prepared for it, and they get to see certain tendencies you might have just from driving the ball on a regular basis and when you're going to drive the ball. Also, we kind of read your prep or preparation. No, a little wide.
Ooh, tough start.
Anyway, Arun Jagaja serving for Life Sport. At Love 15, he's there to dish that back. It's on the line.
I think that's probably got to be the most demoralizing thing for a tennis player coming
It's a
to paddle.
great roller.
Oh, that didn't come off at all.
No, it did not come up for air. Scuba. I mean, that thing was bowling for dollars. Now, that is a reference from way out in the past. I mean, I want to explain it to you guys maybe later. So 15 all, he's there. Nice lob from Morrison. Just long.
And again,
from
these
Lockhart.
are just all balls I think that we should be using the screen for. They're unloading on them. That's where we're going to get our extra time played today.
Very good point, Trey, especially with the warmer weather. You're probably better off screening them anyway. Taking them off the deck in warm weather, not necessarily impossible, just chancy. I mean, these guys are talented enough to do it. Not saying they can't, it's just a matter of shot selection. Gotta get away with it. Oh, you know what? I was going to say, better put a lot of top on that. And a point to hold for 1-all. It was a smart return from Morrison. Off balance, it's really smart play. Sit. Lockhart's there. What a backhand lob. Unbelievable. Okay, just bow to your sensei there. That's just not even supposed to be possible to hit a lob that deep from that position. So, again, tip your cap, as they say. And I'm just saying that because he's got a Louisville Slugger t-shirt on.
I guess we should start calling him that.
Yeah. He's up. All right, back to deuce. Yeah,
straight
absolutely.
to the net every single point for these guys.
I love that reset.
So do I. Just going to say the same thing, Trey. And again, it's not so much the value of not hitting it hard. You just say there's a value of not hitting it hard. There's just such a value. The speed of the shot allows you to reset, and they really can't do much with it. If you hit an overhead hard, you may be making it just difficult for both you and your partner. Not that that isn't obvious, but I'm just saying. That's kind of my job, is restating the obvious. Heck, I'm a dad. I'm supposed to do that. Speed. He got it. Unbelievable. Great lob. It's a good drive. Did that stay in?
Unlucky.
No, a little wide.
Unlucky. It's a good cut.
Unbelievable. All right.
Mike Morrison to serve here for
As they say.
What?
I was going to say. Sorry,
yeah,
Cal,
I can't
go
count.
ahead.
No, I was going to say, is it third or fourth?
No, this is his third or fourth
Third.
serve, you mean?
Yeah, third time to serve.
Yeah. But 1-all, so bamboo shoots all around, as they say. That was a heck of an angle, considering. Nice touch.
Little
Oh, sit.
pickleball.
Oh.
Is that just
You know,
out?
it was, but I'm just going to say a lot of style points for that, because it's not an easy shot, and he just missed it. Kind of happening right in front of us, too. We got a front row seat for that one. All right. Oh, couldn't get a paddle out of the way. A quick love 30.
Surprised that stayed in the court. Oh, it didn't. No, it went out
No,
to
it
the
did
other
not,
court.
no.
Yeah. And now seems like a good time. What are the paddle rules? If a ball enters your court, is that an instant redo of the point?
Pretty much, yeah. Unfortunately, fortunately, not that much different from tennis. Great location and drive from Pete Hammond there. Cannot stress that enough.
Well, and the ability to hit a forehand there is pretty.
There's no question. I mean, they got the lefty righty, but
Yeah.
I mean, he basically went right over the net strap with that one. Okay, much more balanced screen drive on the return from Jagaja that time. Get over the net. I tell you what. Yeah, these guys, live sport guys, tell you what, Jagaja and Hammond, they're just solid with the returns. And again, I'm not going to say so goes Trey. This is not a bad adage. A lot of people go. There's a so goes your return, that so goes your match. I mean, if you return well on a regular basis, let's face it, you're going to have a lot more opportunities. Because let's face it, you're making the serving team hit a lot of first volleys, or at least handle a lot of first volleys.
Absolutely, and I think especially in this warmer weather, make him hit the volley.
Sure.
Even if it's not your best return, make him hit it. There's a chance that we can miss. If we're missing that return, we're giving him free points.
Exactly.
Did I miss any score? Sorry about that.
Not at all.
Okay.
It's I think that was a fault, though.
I think it was.
So it is love 15 right now, though.
Don't quote us.
I don't think
Especially
many people
me.
do.
Especially
Wow,
me.
there was some kick on that. Was that out?
No, the serve was definitely in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's not happy about that one.
Yeah, that's what. Okay.
I'm going with 15 all. I
yeah.
think he missed the first
5
one.
all.
Again, Pete Hammond from Live Sport, another kicker. And again, there's something about that lefty magic. Just seems to jump off the court a little bit more. And again, because it is a little warmer, he's going to get a little even more action on this thing. 30-15. That's the one thing, tennis-wise, and I'm getting a little technical here, but tennis-wise, where paddle, you hit a slice serve, and it basically acts like a kick serve.
Right.
Because the ball's going to literally take a turn like it would for a kick serve, just because the court is so rough. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think I was just going to speak from personal experience in tennis that Trey's hit me with his kick serve a few times.
I have.
Yeah.
And you were his partner too, so that really hurts.
That may also be true.
Separate occasions.
You bet. You bet.
Lethal nonetheless.
Yes. Well, but in pickleball.
All right. So Blair Lockhart to serve.
Oh, did I miss? Did they win the game?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
It's going to go in.
Wow.
And that's a ball I think we just need to bail.
Yes. Just going to say that. It's not as though if you guess right, even if you make a volley, that's fantastic, but he's already all over the net. So
Sure.
you just may as well just give it up, give yourself a breather, if you will.
And I guess that goes double for when the weather is this warm.
Yes. Again, great serve from Lockhart to get it back to 15-all.
And I think this is such a thing with us tennis players, myself included, is we get a little stubborn and we say, you know, we can make that volley, but it's just not worth it.
Nope. And you can kind of get away with it more, let's face it, in tennis.
More space.
Yeah, exactly. And there is something to be said for the idea, and of course this is the big factor. You've got the screen in paddle. You can always go back and play it off the screen. You can't do that in tennis, so you pretty much don't have that option.
I do have to say, I think that in our CPTC live stream tenure, this has to be the most tennis-like match we've ever seen. I mean,
It is, yes, no question. Yeah, it's funny you say that. There was a Series 6 match we covered that was the same kind of thing, though. A lot of guys that could drive the ball with a lot of skill. But you're absolutely right, Cal. Wow.
Jeez. So I think that brings life sport up 4-1 in terms of hitting people with the ball. And you know, I don't think that we've seen a few maybe in the whole time, but not that. I remember listening back to Paddle Hacks. I edited for them, and I remember they would talk about the FYM constantly. And then I came here and I haven't seen that many. But tonight is not disappointing.
No.
And for our viewers at home, that down the line return is a very good play, I would say, especially as a changeup.
No question. And the fact that he's getting on top of that serve really was the more impressive thing.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, Lockhart's serve's just been nasty up to that point, and Pete got a hold of that one.
And Trey, you spoke about the importance of the reset balls down the middle. Do you think that Mike Morrison and Blair Lockhart have found more success by playing up at the net like this, or are they better staying back?
Hard to say. I would say right now they're shifting and they're calling the ball really well, regardless of how much they're swinging this ball. But it only takes one good lob to get past them.
Sure.
You know, it's funny you say that. I would, and this is just me. That pace right there, that would be better, unless you feel like you can really rip one. And again, that forehand, he took a chance on that one. Let's face it, it's 2 feet, not even 2 feet from the baseline, Trey.
Absolutely.
I mean, he took a chance on hitting that, but I guess when you're up and you've got a break point, that's one of those calculated gambles you're going to make. And it paid off now that they take a 4-1 lead. And I don't even want to say it, but if you look at Jagaj's grip, yeah, it looks like a MASH unit. You know, he's.
Do you think it's intimidation?
You know, it would be. You know, because it didn't look like he really hurt himself that much, but obviously, he's got some.
He's sending a
some
message.
blood on
He's
there.
ready to play.
Yeah, I say leave it there. It's almost like.
Oh, that's
okay.
a way to stay.
All right, we just said, you know, do you bail on that? And I guess in that position, being up 4-1, 6-3, 4-1, I suppose you can get away with that. And by the way, when he stayed, he wasn't necessarily up literally that close to the net. He was about near the service line, and they were not in a position to put the ball at his feet. So.
Right.
Yeah, I think he was ready to bail if they hit the right ball, but he was also ready to pounce.
Exactly. It's a great pickup. Yeah, these guys, there's some skill right there.
That's the ball I want to see more often.
Most of the time, you don't see guys. He's there. Good roller. And a nice pickup. Again. might be the point of the match right here. All right, see, now there's some momentum swing right there, maybe.
But I also want to note where he was when he hit that drive.
Good point.
Well inside the baseline.
Yep.
Took time away and forced a tougher volley.
Yep.
This might be an obvious question, Trey, but if you're struggling against opponents that are just hitting it so fast and hard, is really the easiest thing to do is just slow it down.
Absolutely. Again, those type of players want to play fast. They want to hit the ball. So when you slow the points down, you might just force them into going for something unnecessary.
You know, the other thing is, and that's so right and so correct, actually. The other thing is, you mentioned before, well, would they rather be at the net or would they rather be at the baseline? You have somebody who's just absolutely cracking the drive. You're probably better off getting them out of the baseline, better off bringing them to the net. That way they can't tee off all day long. Make them hit some volleys, make them hit some overheads, take them out of their comfort zone.
And I suppose, too, not to be, everyone's been hitting incredible shots, but when you lose that first set, obviously you're not winning at their game of hitting it hard, so maybe
no, you
making
may
that
have to make an
second
adjustment,
set,
absolutely.
yeah.
That's a great drive. And good pace, didn't have to rip it. I mean, there's more style when you snap it down into the corner, but again, tennis versus paddle, you're better off not hitting it too hard just so it dies off the screen. So it's still 40-30 here. Got to get that one in. I'll tell you what, I don't know, I've seen a match all year where the ball leaves the yard.
Yeah, we've had it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Life Sport taking a 5-1, a commanding 5-1 lead in the second set. Here in the Series 3 final for the CPTC. Mike Morrison to serve to stay in it here for Wilmette. Peach is trying to time it.
And he got the tennis grunt in on that one as well.
Yes, and he's leaving the deck, which we don't necessarily as instructors recommend, but, you know, I suppose if you got good timing like he does, I guess you can get away with it. It's a little long. He's kind of ripping that serve, too, which I suppose, again, shows a lot of style.
And I guess it just depends on how many lefties you play over the season, but it's got to throw you to
Yes.
be able to be, you're facing both forehands every time you serve the ball.
Absolutely. All right, 15-30, a quick 15-30, might I add. Can add the amount of shots in this game and on one hand, count them up. Uh-oh.
And again, love that pressure from Peter, kind of forcing a tough volley there.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, I
letting
believe
up.
this is a set
This
point
is
here.
match point
Yeah,
for Life Sport. Oh, and you hate to see it
That's
go
how
that way.
Nobody wants to lose that
But
way.
a really strong showing from Arun Jagaji and Peter Hammond, and kudos to them, man. Look at the camaraderie. You got to love that.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
the best part of the sport, I think.
absolutely. So I got to say, a great start to our evening. And we're not done yet, paddle fans. So if you are still looking to tune in, please do. We've got a Series 2 final coming up.
With some interviews with an IBJ.
Absolutely, hopefully, yeah. I mean, we were promised that, but like I said, we've had a lot of commentators say they're going to show up, and they don't. They end up someplace else. I don't know. It's really good food in the huts a lot of the time, so I don't blame them. If I get a nice hamburger, I'm probably not showing up either.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll be back in a little bit to give you the Series 2 final from beautiful Glenview Golf Club.
Historic.
Yes, exactly, with the rom-com. Is in other words, romantic comedy lights back there. I'm telling you, and somebody just gave somebody a hug, so I'm kind of happy about that. All right. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay.
Welcome back. I
We're
got to
getting
say it
funky
for
in
once.
the second half of the
Again, a big shout out to Daft Punk
Daft Punk.
for giving us the backbeat here.
Boy, who enjoyed the West
Side Story.
We did.
The Glenview burgers here.
We did.
Sean didn't. He instead opted for his 2-day-old.
All right. So we're back. The CPTC live stream, as a matter of fact, this is the Series 2 final, though, as I try to turn down the actually interesting bump music that we've got going on. I just want to say interesting. I didn't say better or worse. I just said interesting. But this promises to be a battle, guys. Stu Bradley and Dave Bukowski been playing together for a little while anyway.
And
Both
Sean,
these guys have been playing for a while.
I hate to interrupt you here, but we do
we
have
have
a
guests?
special guest.
Do we have,
have
really?
a doctor from the venerable IVGI.
Awesome. All right, well definitely we got to get him on the mic. It's way more interesting than I am or Trey, for that matter, or maybe both of us together.
I don't know all that much about that, but
That's the idea. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? I'm
Sean,
Brian.
and this is Trey. I'm sorry, you're
Nice
first.
to meet you. I'm Trey.
Hey, Brian McCall.
How are you? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So we were, as a matter of fact, it's funny. We were just saying in the first half of our broadcast whether we were going to have somebody on that was from the Illinois Bone and Joint, and I'm assuming that's where you're from. Am I right?
That is correct.
I
We've
bet
been waiting outside for our opportunity to get in the broadcast and take it over.
Yuki, you know what?
I'm
You-
here to
you
make color commentary and play-by-play.
Feel free. You know what I mean? Hey, look, you know what? There's always a jump in ratings when I stop talking. Let's put it that way, Brian. So, anyways, you are our main sponsor here. I'm talking about the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. And the one thing, I had a couple of questions, actually, I wanted to ask you, and I always wanted to because we've done about 13 or 14 broadcasts, and I haven't had the chance. And so I memorized them.
You've got
I know.
them down
I don't.
pat, huh?
It sounds like I'm stalking you, but it's not true. I say so. Just out of curiosity, because I have an idea of what the answer to this question is. If somebody comes to you and they've been playing paddle and they have an injury, is there a number one injury that you see more often than any other from people coming from the paddle court?
So, a lot of paddle breaks down into either sort of an acute catastrophic injury. You know,
Sure.
you made a move and something went, and that's usually like a tear of the calf muscle.
Sure.
So that used to be called tennis leg, and I'd say it's
Right.
way more common in paddle than it is on the tennis courts. The bigger brother from that one is the Achilles tendon rupture,
Sure.
which is the big one you really don't want to feel as a paddle player. The other kind of category are the cumulative kind of overuse, repetitious injuries.
Sure.
And so, you know, tennis elbow, I'd say, is probably the number
Big one.
one sort of nuisance injury that hits paddle players. And it can be really debilitating and hard to nurse. You know,
Sure.
as you guys know, it's a really long season, and you're playing multiple times in a week, and
No question.
it can be an issue that you really have to take some time and rest that to have any meaningful impact on it. So,
I was going to say, and so are most of them, I mean, I'm not necessarily holding you to it, but are most of the injuries that you'll see below the waist? In other words, you see more calf and Achilles injuries than you will maybe tennis elbow, or just about the same?
no, you'll see a good breakdown of upper versus lower body. I gave a PowerPoint talk to the Chicago Sports Medicine Society on top 10 injuries in paddle tennis. So,
Sure.
I'm sure people are knocking down the doors to see those slides.
Sure they are.
But you'll see rotator cuff tendonitis and shoulder issues, you know, just from
You
hitting
know what?
serves
Now
and
that you mention it,
overheads.
yeah.
You'll see tennis elbow. You'll have some people get sort of wrist issues just from hitting volleys at the net. You'll see low back injuries.
Sure.
A lot of that will happen. Knees, a lot of kind of middle-aged guys that have some early degenerative problems in their knees as they're running to the net and trying to decelerate to hit that first volley. They'll get a lot of anterior knee pain or swelling.
Sure.
Meniscus tears. I actually just saw an unfortunate member that at the member guest blew out his knee. So I've got an ACL from paddle tennis coming up. And then, you know, as you move down, ankle, I've seen ankle dislocations, subtalar dislocations. ankle sprains are awfully common, and
I'll bet.
kind of Achilles strain, tendonitis, and tears.
So if there's something you could just say, maybe one or two things, you'd say, you know what, this would be preventative in terms of maintenance. That was one of the questions I can just think about right off the bat. In other words, here, one thing you may want to do on a regular basis. Obviously, I was told, hey, you might want to stretch, but what to stretch? In other words, are there certain areas, maybe the areas you just mentioned?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things you can do. The easy joke from the doctor standpoint is stay young, right? There's no replacement for that. But I think
late.
a lot of paddle tends to happen, in the evening. It's a late
Sure.
start, and so it's hard to get kind of a good cardiovascular warm-up. So doing something that gets your heart rate and your blood flowing just to get sort of more elasticity into the muscles can be helpful. And then after and I've seen guys go to an exercise bike or jog for 20 minutes, on
Sure.
a treadmill, even just doing some jumping jacks before you get out onto the court. Because once you're out on the court, you immediately just kind of go into play type activity,
Exactly.
which, eventually you'll get to a warm state. But, the more you can get yourself into a relaxed and flexible state, probably the less likely you are to get injured.
That's a great suggestion. Half the time when we talk about warming up, most people just think they're talking about their strokes. Oh, I got to get, when I say get loose, we'll just say that, but I really got to get my timing down. I mean, most people, myself included, don't think about, hey, you know what? I might want to warm up my body because that's going to make it much less likelihood of getting injury if I do warm up my body. Only other thing I was going to mention is, are there things that you can do paddle-wise? The only reason I ask is because this is specific to racket sports. I had an orthopedic surgeon friend of mine who will constantly make fun of me, and well-deserved, by the way, but he actually gave me a tip that saved my wrist. He just said, hey, Sean, if you're having some issues with your forearm or whatever, make your grip bigger.
Yeah. So some of that's trial and error. Sometimes bigger grip, smaller grip. Changing whether you're catching the ball late, making sure that you're kind of timing that volley
Sure.
the right way. So.
Yeah, sure. No, that like I said, I think it gave me a new lease. I'm sure it's just that one thicker grip for some reason. All right, are we gonna? Does he have? He's got to go. We're gonna get out there. We're gonna get out
I think
there.
they want me to get on court.
Yeah,
and,
you know
play.
what, Brian? There's no question. I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it. I mean, you'd be a lot better off than I would be out there. A lot more entertaining, for sure. That one.
Well, I told Greg Wotrang that I would tell him congratulations on his Series 1 championship. So he wanted a special shout out. So I want to throw that out to him and his team.
Absolutely. Series 1. Hey, listen. You know what? The championships at every level here are special. We just saw one. We're maybe going to see another one. Brian, thank you very much for joining us.
Take care. Thanks for having me,
Appreciate
guys.
it. No, thank you. And thanks for all the support, by the way, from the IBJI. Brian McCall from the IBJI joining us. That was awesome. Anyway, we're about to get going here. Once again, Dave Bukowski and Stu Bradley from Westmoreland Country Club. And they're going to be taking on Tom Fawcett and David Pollock from Winnetka. I always love it. It's funny. This is a guy who probably makes quite a bit of money per hour, guys. I'm just going to be honest about it. I like picking guys' brains like that. I'm not cheap necessarily. I'll fill out a check if I have to. But the bottom line is this guy is a professional. I always say, hey, why not? Anyway, Stu Bradley to serve. Was that a fault already? Because it sure wasn't an ace. It looked like it was a little long. So
Well,
I
we're
think,
getting them out now, right?
yeah, that's right. First couple of games. And by the way, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this might be Stu Bradley's second or third time on the stream here, Cal.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think he's ever been on the stream
Are
before.
you sure? Because
Maybe
I'll
once.
tell you
Or,
why.
It might have been one of the times I wasn't there.
That's probably what it was, because I've seen that serve motion before. And if he played with Bukowski last time, because I know Dave was, I'm starting to think it was. But anyway. Okay, we got some, by the way, just like we did last match, we got some guys with some serious racket skills here. And I'm talking about crossing a couple different platforms, not just paddle, but I like the last minute disguise there. Almost worked out for Dave Bukowski there. Little wide.
I think they're showing their game plan pretty early here that they're going to be picking on Dave Pollock there in the deuce court.
I could kind of see that. Not that Pollock isn't a fine player, because he is, and he's steady, no question about it. Fawcett, having been, I can tell you this off the tennis court, never had the displeasure of getting thumped by Tom Fawcett on the tennis court, but incredible strokes, and definitely translates on the paddle court. Nice dig from a little pirouette from, and another one for Dave Pollock.
So again, we have to ask the question, have either of you gentlemen ever been on the court with any of these players?
Definitely Dave Bukowski. I could swear, now on the tennis court, maybe with Stu Bradley, and the only reason I say is because when you get to be as old as I am, some guys just look a little different, myself included. Definitely I got more pounds on me. More baggage. They talk about carrying around baggage mentally. I'm carrying it around physically and mentally.
Well.
All right, so right now Bukowski and Bradley are down 15-40, so this is a break point. So let's see if they can stave this thing off here. Tell you what, Bukowski, absolutely automatic with that. Oh, now he pounds one. Good hustle there from Fawcett. Good reach there. You don't necessarily advise that, but he was able to pull it off. The other thing is, Fawcett's got some height. When I say height, I mean he's well over 6'4". At least he looks that way.
Well, we can use Sean as a measuring stick.
Well, either that or we'll get you out there, Cal.
True, I am closer to a measuring stick.
I didn't mean it that way, but now that you mention it. Leaving the deck. Those are pretty good hops, too.
Bet he's been asked if he plays basketball.
Now he's just showing
over
off.
1,000 times.
A bail there. Maybe not. Unbelievable. Okay, well, I don't have hands like that, so we advise you to bail on that one, but you know what? I guess Dave Pollock, they're getting away with it. The shot clock, we're talking maybe 62, 63 here. Playing a little more conventionally are Fawcett and Pollock. Trey, no? Just keeping the ball to the ad side. Oh, that's a great volley. Wow.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see these type of long points tonight. All of these guys are experts off the screens. They have great drives, so they're going to have to be careful of putting the ball in the wrong spot tonight.
Yeah, no question. All right, so Tom Fawcett looks like he's going to serve first. Up 1-love for Winnetka. When I say Winnetka, I mean Winnetka Park District, AC Nielsen. I think that they're all interchangeable there. No?
I wouldn't know.
Well, we're going to say that it is. I'm just saying.
The only park district I've ever been to was Hinsdale to build a pickleball court there.
Were you really?
Yeah, they have 2 paddle courts up there, and they wanted for the summer to put some of those plastic covers on them and make them pickleball courts.
Awesome. And you get some interesting habits, Cal. Although that's more of a job.
You know, actually, that was Mike Raleigh.
Was it really?
Yeah, helps out
was
all
it
around.
Raleigh?
If you need
Yeah,
a
really
pickleball
bad.
court, reach out to
Big kick serve.
that gentleman.
Some serious.
So who won that first point? The camera angle cut it off.
I believe
Bukowski and Bradley.
Bukowski and
that's-
Bradley
yeah.
took that one. Yeah. They took that one too. So it's love 30.
That was a close ball.
I almost want to say it's getting warmer, and I love the underhand serve, and he rips it.
Well, Trey, why don't you check the weather for
With
us?
the,
I can't pull my phone
squared
out
stance,
this moment,
by the
but let's
way,
see.
which is really kind of shows a lot of style. And then he goes overhead serve, going to the ad side.
And
he
the
just
app
pounds
says it's warm.
Really?
Yeah, I could have. I mean, it just almost
Well,
seems.
people were coming in the commentary booth with frozen hands, so I'd be surprised if it was very warm. But who knows?
Well, we are still kind of near the lake here. Not really, I guess, but
Oh, it depends on how you see it. Frame of reference,
great-
because Illinois is near a lake, Sean.
I appreciate the geography lesson calendar.
Yeah.
It's not a bad waterfall, but Dave's up to the task there, and I mean that by Dave Bukowski. Sit. No. All right, so Fawcett and Pollock hanging back here. It is 15-40.
Now, Sean,
He
just like we
got
were...
another let court here on two of them in one game off that underhand serve, and he pays the price a little bit there. Although a lot of style points, though. 1-1. Yes, Cal, what were you going to say?
Sorry, hold on. Adjusting the game. Obviously, playing a left-handed player is going to mix up your shot selection and how you do play your match of paddle, but does playing a tall player versus a short player mix that just as much as lefty and righty?
It's a great, it's a great question. I'm going to let Trey answer that first.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that you're going to notice with the tall player is just the different overheads they can hit. Notice, I think you're going to see Fawcett a lot of those waterfalls because he has the height to get up and down on that ball. That being said, he's got fantastic tennis skills. You're going to see a lot of different shots from him tonight.
No question. That's a big backhand return. Of course, he got a little carried away with the second drive. Matter of fact, what I was going to mention, and it's a great point that Trey brought up, what I was going to mention is if you're a taller player, you can actually take a chance on, one, hitting more of an angle from a little deeper in the court because you have a higher impact point. That's number one. And then two, you can actually get away with, I mean, depending on the temperature out there, you can get away with hitting the ball a little harder. But you got to make it deep if you can, because it's difficult. If you pound down on it and just make it in a service line, you're actually, in this weather, playing right into your opponent's hands. Because usually, you hit the ball on the service line, you hit it hard enough, it's going to come down off the screen, it's going to be screen drivable, and generally speaking, your drive stopping partner is going to pay the price. I'm telling you, I'm loving that backhand return. What? You know what? Dave Pollock's, I mean, that flex two-handed backhand volley is just incredible. I mean, he hasn't missed one of those. And it almost looks like he doesn't even know it's coming, but, I mean, it's incredible the way he's able to swing at it a little bit, and he keeps it in. Good communication from Dave
Oh, and the
Bukowski.
hat falls off. Picks it up midpoint. That's impressive.
Yep.
Without skipping a beat.
Well, if you know Dave, he's pretty chill, man. He can pretty much handle some adversity there. Tom Fawcett playing a little singles out there.
And I think an important part to note here is Dave Pollock is really going to be the consistent player out here.
Yep.
You have to be able to mold your game to your partner sometimes. Knowing that Fawcett's going to take a lot of drives here, you got to be the consistent player.
That's, it's such a great point, Trey. Chemistry, I mean, is the word that comes to mind.
And also a class you failed in high school.
Don't forget college.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I want credit for it. No pun intended.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Speaking of credit, and although I'm sure all Trey's thoughts are his own, I mean, he comes from some pretty good stock. Shout out to Jim Scott in
Call him Papa
Green
Smurf
Bay.
in the household.
Papa Smurf.
Jim
You know what?
Stir.
Yeah. Awesome guy. Here's a funny thing. I've not even met him personally yet. I've just talked to him on the phone. No, we've just been pretty much
Trey, have you met him before?
Hardly.
Yeah.
Hardly.
business relationship.
Tennis
but
pros work a lot,
Great
Cal.
dude. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it when I get up there, but I've
34.
got kind of a
I
big territory.
apologize just how horrendously off the score was
That's
on that
okay.
one. But we're set now.
No pun intended. There's another one, man. You just can't stop. Good hands. You just have to fly. You know what?
That is a heavy,
Okay, so
heavy
it
ball.
is. It is. And you know what's funny? He had to hit a forehand volley first and then flip to a backhand. Usually it's the other way around. That's one reason why we always say if you can, and I'm not saying he would have made the shot either because I can't be critical about it. I would have missed it. Probably I'd just get out of the way of that one. But it's tough when you have to flip it. We always talk about that. Sometimes you're better off hitting a backhand volley, even if it's chicken wing, because you're going to be ready for the next one with a backhand volley.
And I think an important part to note in that point, too, is even though Stu was up there ready for that volley, Dave was hanging back. Because if that ball got by him at any point, he's playing a lob off that screen, and we're getting back to neutral.
Team chemistry right there. Exhibit A there, Trey. All right. So Pollock to serve. Stu took a cut at that thing. And it is 1-2, by the way. Westmoreland serving. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Winnetka serving. I was about to say Nielsen.
Well,
I know. I gotta watch what I'm saying. What kind of commentator? I know. It's the romantic comedy lights. I just can't. There are so many people under there, and I just want to see what's going on.
I can't even see if people are dancing over there.
There's
I
no
don't
question.
think they are.
Who couldn't? I mean, how can you? You know, I'm just gonna have to. Don't even need any music. All right. A deep reset from Pollock. More to your point there, Trey, pretty much anything high can turn into a waterfall.
Absolutely.
With Fawcett.
And he's just going to get it up over your head and without any pace, really. So you're going to have to make that decision of whether you let it go or not pretty quickly.
Nice
letting
pick.
the water go out of the faucet.
Wow. Cal Noble. He'll be here all week. Or maybe just one more day.
Well,
maybe a couple
just-
more hours.
Yeah, just a couple more hours.
All right. 30 love in favor of Winnetka. And they're up 2-1, by the way. Oh, and I jinxed them.
It happens.
We don't believe in that stuff
No,
much.
even though you mention it
Yeah.
every stream several times.
Of course, you know what I haven't talked about? Because there is no home court. It's funny. Right there, sometimes just because there's a lot of management going on and they both want the ball, one person goes after it and then kind of does so half-heartedly and misses the shot. So you're at 30 all and possibly a costly fault. Let's just see if Mr. Pollock can dig himself out of this a little bit. You know what? Again, I should just go to Vegas if I'm going to jinx this much people this much. I got to apologize. I'm going to have to send a fruit basket to Dave if I keep doing that. Some kind of, you know.
Or maybe something a little bit more your style, like chocolate turtles. Or
How do you put up with him?
How do you know what? He just reads me well, Trey. He's right.
well, you know, you should hear some of the stuff that happens off the air.
Let's
My God.
not say we did. Yeah. So 2-all. We said it was going to be a battle, and it indeed is. There you go, Bukowski getting off the deck on that one. That's a nice topspin. Again, a perfect pace on that screen drive. He was just balanced enough to hit it that hard. Look at that, he's there. That's great, great hands from Stu Bradley. The backhand volley again, if you just want to say so. Perfect touch on that one. Going eye, which is not a bad idea against Fawcett, the way he's been hitting his return. Because at least you can control it if it goes up the line like that.
Absolutely. Less angle to work with.
Sure.
I assume it takes a little bit of time throughout the match, but do you usually find one shot is most successful against a team and just keep going back to that?
You know something? It's always change a losing game, never change a winning game. You know, but you're right. I mean, you kind of, I think the best philosophy, if that indeed is making your opponents less comfortable and you more comfortable as a team, then yes. I mean, I don't know what you think about that, Trey, but that's the way I look at it. You make the paddle is, and we've heard this before. I mean, my esteemed cohorts at Lakeshore Country Club will talk about it all the time. It's really about making first, wow, it hit him. That was going to be wide, too, because I got a nice shot of that in terms of a camera shot, but just Dave couldn't get out of the way. That ball was hit, and it was going to go wide, I'm telling you, but Dave kind of saved it there.
And this is what we teach at Exmoor. That's why you miss over the net.
Exactly.
There's always a chance something happens.
Exactly. So, make your opponents make a shot or a call on every ball. But it's what I was saying is it is about making first your opponents uncomfortable and then you guys more comfortable. It's more about making them less comfortable, depending on what they like to do. That's a great chip right there from Bukowski. A lot of people have hit that a little too hard to get back into the point and transition. Oh. Some good D from David Pollock there. And they're going I again for the hold here if they can get it. Oh, he's just a machine off that backhand side is Thomas Fawcett. All right, I promise I won't make any more mechanical analogies.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Yes, what a dig. Way down. Awesome. See, that's a smart shot. Most people are going to try to hit that a little too hard, but you can put a little pace on it. Look at the and it was a great idea from Bukowski for a blitz. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and they're back to deuce, so this could not get any closer here. Do we have another guest? Rob? This time? Rob with awesome.
How you doing?
What's happening, Rob?
I'm doing good.
It's first of all, I'm just going to get off topic for a second. It's a good idea to be wearing a Michigan hat right now because I believe they just won, didn't they? Over Colorado. Oh, look at that!
And a
Unbelievable.
shirt.
He's got it. Yeah.
We got a diehard fan here.
Go Blue.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Dave. Well, thanks for joining us. We're mid-match here, so it's what a back and returner. If you don't mind, I'm just still trying to go play-by-play and still ask you a few questions, Dave.
Definitely concentrate on the battle.
Well, no, I pray that's nice of you.
100%.
That's nice of you. So, Dave, I'm just going to embarrass him a little bit. You are one of the founders, I should say, of Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. Am I wrong?
That is correct.
There you go. Okay, and I got
Long time ago, unfortunately.
tipped off. No. It's awesome, and thank you so much for the sponsorship. We've just enjoyed the relationship all this time, and again, I'm just marveling at Tom Fawcett's backhand return. You don't see people hit it that hard. But anyway, so wanted to mention we were asking Brian McCall when he was there just a couple of questions, and I'm not going to ask you the same questions because invariably there'll be some comparison. We don't want it to.
Oh,
I know we
I should have been here.
So do you have a specialty?
Sports medicine.
Okay.
And
Sports
joints.
Joints. Okay.
Both.
All
But
right.
Sports medicine.
Okay, I was going to say, because half of what we were talking, I'll just say it, we did talk about, I want to say popular injuries or frequent injury, common. Thank you, common injuries. By the way, I was just pointing out this underhand serve and the stance that Tom Fawcett uses. Of course, he is a little younger, but he does use his mechanics pretty well. If I want to make my version of a medical assessment there, because I don't know any better than that. But anyway, what I was going to say is common. He was just talking about he did mention something below the waist like ankles and Achilles tendons. You'd concur with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the common injuries in paddle, ankle injuries, a lot of knee injuries.
Yes.
The court's not very forgiving.
No.
Upper extremity injuries also, obviously. So those are the main ones, upper extremity and lower extremity injuries.
Yeah, no question.
And occasional back here and there, too.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I was going to say, and you do work, we talk about physical therapy. That's the other thing I was going to say, because it really, in recent years, and I'm an older guy, it's like I've noticed that how do I say this? It's gotten even more and more important and more revolutionary with, treatment and then therapy. And some people now with injuries, the way they hit them, wow, he's just ripping that underhand serve. I mean, that's impressive. Most of the time, guys will take a little more off it. Thomas Fawcett's got some confidence. But anyway, what I was going to say is, most of the time, when you talk about either injuries or injuries that are orthopedic injuries just from paddle, you said it. The court's kind of grippy, so you're going to
It's not forgiving.
Exactly. I mean,
that's the difference between like a paddle court and a pickle court and a tennis court, or both asphalt and a hard true. This court, it's not forgiving, so your foot gets stuck.
Yes.
As you're turning and twisting. So
yeah.
That's part of the issue.
Wow. No, because I always wondered about that when I first started playing paddle. I almost felt like I was bound to get injured that way. You do get used to it. Matter of fact, half the time, and this is totally unscientific, but I actually like to go out there with shoes that aren't new. Just go out on tennis court, play with them, and then after a while you get a shoe that's
I wouldn't recommend that one.
Okay, great. I was just going to ask you whether you think that's a good idea. Well, check that off.
That
Stop doing that now. Sean, you moron. Stupid.
Did Brian McCall say that or not?
No. I didn't know. No, I wasn't. I guess I wasn't brave enough to ask him. But I'm just dumb enough to do that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I probably should have. And no wonder I've had so many.
That might be the reason.
There you go. That would be it. So, and then the other thing he was mentioning obviously would be tennis elbow and or forearm, elbow, rotator cuff, that type of thing. That's common as well, is it not?
Look, you see a lot of upper extremity injuries, like you said, the tennis elbow, which is lateral epicondylitis. You see some forearm, and medial epicondylitis, which is classically golfer's elbow.
Sure.
All the rotator cuff issues, right? It's
sure.
Just the constant overhead activity. So you're going to see all of that in paddle.
Is there something other than, I mean, I'm sure Brian was talking about, proper warm-up. There is stretching that goes on. The only reason I ask that is because one of the things that I like to talk about, especially as a rackets pro or rackets instructor, I'd like to say, is I always talk about mechanics. And most of the time, I try to draw that from medical professionals like yourself, because half the time I don't know exactly what I'm talking about with that stuff. But I know that core, bigger muscles to hit the ball, smoother is better than
Sure.
trying to be as whippy as possible.
Look, like in any sport, I think all racket sports are similar. Proper mechanics are important. Warming up, especially in winter, which I'm not the best at warming up, but warming up and coming out and being loose before you start your
Sure.
matches. Those are critical in any sport, any overhead sport, racket sport. Appropriate mechanics are going to avoid injuries if you can.
No question. One other thing. So the first, and I'm just going to bring him up because I felt bad for him. The first night we had our broadcasts, there was a guy who came out to play his final, and I think the temperature dropped, as I was saying, maybe 25 degrees. I mean, it was 60-something degrees, and then all of a sudden it was 30-something degrees or thereabouts. And he pulled, I think he said he popped a calf muscle.
Right. Very common also.
I was just going to ask that. So the reason why I asked is because I also heard this, and maybe this is just something that I just wanted to know the answer to. And while you're here, you can send me a bill, by the way, if I get too rambunctious with my questioning. But if that's actually something, not only is it common, but you can actually you come back from it pretty easily when you snap. I'm not even sure what the tendon was.
Medial gastroc.
Thank you. And that is something you can get. You can snap that and still be fine. As a matter of fact, you might be just as good as you used to be after healing from that. Is that correct?
After the injury, it's not such a quick recovery. And again, like anything, depends how bad you injure it.
Okay.
You could tweak it a little bit. You might be back in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Or you can injure it more so, and it can take a good 4 to 6 weeks to get back. But you can recover from that.
Gotcha.
It's better than tearing your Achilles, put it that way.
You know what? That's exactly what I heard.
Achilles is what you don't want to do,
No,
right?
no question.
And there's a lot of ACL injuries in paddle. Just, again, twisting and turning.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
medial gastrocs you can come back from.
Always wondered about that.
Wear a calf sleeve.
Gotcha. Yeah. I need 2 of them. I need 2 of them on each calf at this point. So So you're a Michigan guy? Is that your background?
I was born on Ohio State campus, but I went to Michigan.
Wow, isn't that sacrilege? Isn't that? Is that even legal? I don't think that's even legal.
Somehow it happened.
Good for you. I used to live in Columbus, actually, my first 10 years of my life.
West 10th and High.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. And then, were you always sports medicine oriented growing up?
Really? As a little kid. Yep.
That's what you
sports.
wanted to do. Okay.
From day one.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's kind of nice to hear, because some people just say they had a dream from day one and that was it, and that's always nice to. So, well, I'm going to say it again, just on behalf of the CPTC. Thank you for the sponsorship. We've really enjoyed it, and I hope we can do it again.
Anytime. My pleasure. Now you got to get back to the panel.
Yeah, exactly. This is one heck of a match.
This is a good match.
Yes.
You've been talking. I've been watching.
No, that's all right. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you.
One of the founders of the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. Thanks so much for joining us. That's awesome. And again, I feel like I'm going to get a bill. Thank you. Thank you. I'll try not to. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't. So anyway, 5-2, Fawcett and Pollock, and it's still a battle, though. I mean, as you've been watching this while I've been babbling along, trying to, patronize. I'm just saying patronize. I'm just trying to look for some new friends, guys, because, I can't really count Trey and Cal among my friends. So
Ouch.
I can. Well, I'm just
My
saying. I'm just
goodness.
saying. No. Well, look. You say that now. You watch. Hey guys, you want to go to a movie? Sean, it's really kind of inappropriate for you to even call me. Anyway, so
That sounds like me and Trey.
That was in there.
That's fair.
Look at the, okay, skyrocket lob from Bukowski right there. So he's got to be feeling it. And Bukowski and Bradley are like this. Look, if you were going to win this set, it's not going to take no time. We're out here. We're going to shave a couple of times if we need to. One of us will go take a shower, the other one takes over.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they are slowing it down. To your point from the last match, Trey.
Absolutely, you're seeing a lot more of those middle reset balls when they get pushed well back in the court, and that is, again, very important when you have four guys that can really drive the heck out of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Point taken.
Good hands. Wow. Well, it's just a smart drive after that, taking the net away. Hit it too hard and you're going to actually make it tough on you. What a shot from Bukowski. That is, I got to say, that is not an easy ball to hit. Anything over your head, screen-wise, that just takes some skills. So 30-15.
And even though the score says 2-5, Stu and Dave, they're not playing a bad match.
No, not at all. It's one of those where the score belies the actuality of the match.
Tom and Dave are just coming out firing and quite honestly making a lot of it.
Yeah, I think that's something just with all racket sports. It's really hard to tell how a match went from the score because you could have, 20-20 points in a game and then it's 22-20. The amount of points are.
Yeah, no question. Absolutely no question. And we've got
That's
a
my
set
excuse,
point
at
here.
least.
Yeah.
Oh, he fished it. I don't know if that was going in, but you know what? To your point, Trey, he got it over the net.
He did. He did. He made him guess.
All right, if that isn't the first set.
Yeah, it was hard to tell with. So I guess it'll be 5-3 then.
Nice. Awesome. I tell you what, just the preparation alone on that forehand side.
And Tom is just camping out in the middle of the court. If they leave any ball in the wrong spot, it is just getting hammered back to them.
And if it isn't deep.
Absolutely. And he's almost baiting them to say, hey, go to my backhand, see what happens.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like his forehand is a picnic.
No.
Yeah, no barbecue, no potato salad there. Nice screen. I don't know what you do with that.
Wow.
That kind of came off the seam to Stu's credit there. Not an easy ball for anybody. It was one of those where he almost started out with a forehand and he had to kind of fish it back with the backhand, was unsuccessful. Love 30. It's big.
And that's a ball. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
No. The only thing you can do, I'm just going to say, not that I would know or could say this just sitting here, but you bail, man. If he's going to hit it that hard, there's no point in trying to stick the volley if you can't really get there. That was a real good first
And that's
volley.
the tough part. He wasn't up at the service line where they've been typically starting to bail from. He's a couple feet behind, and I think at this point, I think we might just have to give up the net sometimes.
No question. A little and wide a little bit from David Pollock. Another good serve from Stu Bradley. Again, to stay in this set, presumably.
It's 4-3.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, I was going to say.
Who knows at this point?
Yeah, well, I didn't have audio, so.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. I know you didn't because we were interviewing, but, and you did a great job considering, Cal.
I take a 50-50 guess every time, and I'm always wrong.
You know what? Just do the Seinfeld thing. Just do
that
opposite
brings us
from
to
now
deuce,
on.
right?
It does. there's a roller. You can see how these guys got to the finals. I'm just going to say it. That sounds cliched, but I mean, check it out. I mean, to Trey's point, I guess it's, I would say 5-3 at this point. And it just seems closer than that. Nice dig. I almost think the difference, other than maybe a missed serve here and there, is probably Fawcett's drive and his ability maybe to make things happen and maybe disrupt a few things. What a touch. He got it. Good recovery. Okay, a great idea from Dave Bukowski, that is, to figure bring him back out because he was pinned near the back screen.
Yep, there's a little bit of scrambling happening. Why not?
Exactly. A little unsuccessful. Unfortunately, back to deuce. Wow. Surprising power from Dave Pollock. And then Tom, and you know what? I don't know, say blame him. He's been rolling with those drives. The two back, I think, is working a little bit better here.
Yeah, I think it's just necessary here.
Yeah. And for those of you paddle enthusiasts at home, just that's kind of a lesson right there. You know what? We do what we need to do. And giving up the net is not, as a matter of fact, I say a horrible thing. It can win you a match. It's not like you've got to take the net on a regular basis. It's nice if you can get there. Way to handle the seam there from Stu. That was a nasty bounce out there. If he was a Glenview Golf Club member, I would say, maybe he is. I'd say that's home court advantage, guys. I know. I had to get home court advantage in here. Somehow.
Yeah.
Other than the Judester thing. We're going to try to do that both ways. Wow. I'm not even sure that was advisable, but he smartly, but he wasn't able to make the shot. I was going to say very intelligently, Dave Pollock actually let that ball go, and Stu, with some great serving, keeps them in the set here.
Don't call it a comeback.
That could be a big momentum shifter there.
I think so. Because let's face it, 5-3, big difference. 5-4, big difference.
Absolutely.
Now you're serving to take it or not allow them to just even it up here. So this is a big one here.
Yeah, and I also don't want to jinx anybody. This is obviously the finals, but I think in the CPTC live streams history, we've only had 3 or 4 matches that have gone 3 sets.
Yeah.
So the first set, not that it's...
Great location on the drive from Stu Bradley. Just past the forehand side of Dave Pollock and making Tom Fawcett reach for it. So that was awesome. You can hit that a bunch of times. You're going to win a lot of matches.
They probably did. So they got to the finals.
That's how they got here. Good point, Cal. See, you can contribute. I'm kidding. I don't contribute at all. That's why I said that. And I like the communication here, Trey, no? Because, even though they're winning, you just got to stay on the same page the whole way through, especially since he's serving.
Are we at 5-all or love 30?
This is 15-all.
Okay, that's what yeah.
And now it is 30-15 because Bukowski, he didn't miss that by much. That was the right shot. Maybe just hit a little hard. Colder day, that's in there. It's a nice serve.
Well, I assume that's not so much a theme perhaps in the second set, but especially that first set. The first couple games really getting to grips with the weather and figuring out exactly what shots you can and can't hit.
Yep.
At what point does that excuse kind of not work anymore?
You know what? If you haven't tested it already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know it sounds really weird, but after a while, it's not a bad idea to let a few drives go. Right, Trey?
Absolutely.
I'm looking at it this way, just to see if it goes in or out. Because let's face it, you can always scamper back there and maybe keep the point going, but at least you get an idea of what you'd let go and what you wouldn't based on the temperature. You don't let anything go, you're never going to know.
You don't let anything go, you're never going to know. Sean Albrecht.
And with these type of matches,
All right,
where
young MC.
nobody's giving an inch, game plans are gonna change.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to keep adjusting to those changing game plans too.
No question. A little wide, By the way, that's one of those shots, and again, if I was as tall and as athletic as Thomas Fawcett, I'd probably do the same thing. But that's one of those shots you kind of almost tempted to hit, which is not an easy shot. Off your back foot, trying for the sideline.
Well, it's hard to get closer than this game has been so far.
Exactly, and it is 30-40. Bukowski and Bradley have a break point here. Let's see if they can convert it. It was close. I mean, it's difficult to say. It's close. I mean, it could have been wide. I really couldn't tell.
They don't like it, that's for sure.
No, they're not going to. They could just give him a. Here's the thing.
Gamesmanship that we
Exactly.
love to see.
Not only that, Bukowski did return it, and he said it. He called it before he returned it. So it's not as though he made a late call or anything. So the lead is not only, Trey, to your point, not only a good idea, but it's fair.
Well, and then we'll know if it's in or out by who wins this point.
Of course. Ha. Yeah, I know. Tell you what, Bukowski's screen lob, absolutely textbook. And it's an expensive textbook. It's one of those textbooks, that you pay through the nose for at the bookstore. He's there. And then you don't get anything for when you try to resell it. Oh my God. I'm just having flashbacks. Nice. There it is. By the way, that'll be a pun in a second. I'll explain it. Good lob, sit. No, out. So that's a catchphrase for a lot of teaching or rackets pros, racket instructors, and Dave Bukowski's probably the king of there it is. He'll say that when he's teaching. I've taught with Dave a lot, and that's what he says. So it's weird that I just said that. Of course, probably entertaining.
We're at 5-all, right?
Yes, we are. Entertaining only to me. So they have evened it up. Bradley and Bukowski have. So it's, again, every bit the battle we thought it would be. And they're going and I kind of like this, Trey, no?
Again, I think we need. Oh, look, there you go. Answers your question. I love it.
Yeah, because
give them a different look.
Exactly, either that or they're two back again, which had been working. I guess now that they're tied up, they're thinking, you know what, maybe we can take a few more liberties. Good reset.
And we tell this to our club players all the time. It's too easy just to give up the net right away. I think we need to try a few things.
Yes.
Before we go and just give them the advantage.
Exactly. And they're shifting. Maybe they're a little more less conservative approach. Not to say they're not being conservative. It's just that they may be trying a few things now that it's 5-all. There's a big one.
Oh, no. Come on.
I mean, he has got range, Mr. Fawcett does, no question about it. I'm not sure, Trey, I wouldn't let Dave Pollock take that ball. No?
Yeah, I just think, is it worth
that's a
going
big
all
backhand.
the way over there to take that
I mean,
ball?
it's easy for me to say, right? Because, I mean, he is rangy. There's no question. You just missed it, by the way.
And I think that, in the grand scheme of things, he is a newer player to paddle, and these are just one of the things that this is going to be a doubles and a team sport. You got to trust your partner to save you on some shots.
Right, which is crazy that he's, relatively new to it as good as he is.
I certainly don't want to play him.
No, you don't see me out there. I'm no volunteers here. I'm going to be in line for a hamburger, 2 hamburgers maybe. What a drive. He's there, Bukowski. And again, it is warmer, so that ball's coming up off the screen kind of in a lively manner. And everybody's taking advantage of that. Wow, that stayed in. That's some flippy touch there. What reach? He's there. Oh, smart. Yes. I tell you what, just some of the preparation on some of the digs on all 4 of them, particularly Bukowski's been spectacular. Right there.
It's all about that early preparation. Get
Yep.
the paddle in the right spot.
Right,
Good
proximity.
things will happen.
Yep. Good lob. Skywalker. All too easy. I was trying to do a Darth Vader. Can't do it. No good at it.
And
Don't even try
Bukowski
it.
certainly has a great disguise on that backhand where he can lob or he can just
Don't you
cut
think
it
so?
over
Yeah.
the net.
Same preparation on both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if we had a shot clock, it'd be like 71 right now. Ship set. Yeah. Sit. Awesome. Then when I say sit, I'm just looking for more paddle. I'm not rooting one way or the other. That's really smart. Don't hit it that hard. Great. Tell you what, there, got a slick switch here. Sit. It's in there.
And something I love seeing in this point especially is how I like to teach not playing these tea kettle points where they get hot, they heat up, and then we let it boil over and we just keep going. Sometimes you got to pull it off the heat and let it slow back down.
Exactly. It's funny, some of the better players that you watch do that, Trey, you can see it in their body language. They actually kind of percolate back down with their body language, relax a little bit, almost look like they're nonchalant, whether with a lob or with a drive. Oh, awesome, awesome point. And again, if you've noticed, most of the points are won or lost with a percentage shot, even if it's hit hard. That was right up the middle. I mean, great point.
Yeah.
Fans are getting their money's worth, as they say. So 40-15, Bukowski and Bradley at 5-all again. Couldn't be closer. A little topspin on that screen lob. That is it.
Oh, that's good coverage.
That's a great shot. You know what? It was a great.
Right.
It was a great move. Used this analogy before, but it is topical because of the NCAA basketball tournament. There are times when a coach will say, "Hey, I don't care if you miss that shot. That's the right shot to take." And that was actually the case, in my humble opinion, where Stu Bradley was concerned on that shot. You take that poach, even if you miss it.
Absolutely. He had him in the best position for him to take that point.
To quote Wayne Gretzky, you take 100% of the shots you take.
Did you say that?
Interesting.
I thought you were going to make a Janet Jones reference there. It's going to work. Look at the hands. Oh!
Wow.
All right, again, this shows some style points, and I cannot believe that, but you know what? These guys came back and obviously got the game out of it. So they're up 6-5 now after being up appreciably in the set and then having Bukowski and Bradley come back to tie it. They go up 6-5.
Well, we were talking about the scoreboard not showing how close it was earlier. It definitely is now. Worked itself out.
As long as we keep an accurate score, I suppose we can make it even closer. All right, here we go. Another underhand serve, and they gave it the net immediately. Nice roller from Bukowski. Another one. Good dig. Touch. Okay, you knew that was coming. And you know what's funny? There are times where you just say good shot and don't even go after it. And we've all been there. Where it's kind of like, because actually Dave might have had a shot at that. Not going to say he didn't. He's got some speed, but sometimes it's kind of like, you know what? This is a long match. That was a good shot. I'm not even sure I'll make the shot anyway. Oh!
A lot of my students ask that. Well, what could I have done better there? Well, you could have clapped and said good shot and move on.
Exactly.
That's about all you could have done there.
Yeah, sometimes you just bow to your sensei. That's what I like to say, just because after a while, you know, there's going to be a shot or two that you can't do too much about, much as you'd like to.
You just keep asking the question, can you do it again?
Exactly.
Oh, it's shots could leave.
Yeah, absolutely. Stu Bradley kneeling out of the way. Yes, that's matrix reference. It. Oh. All right, so this is a set point right here.
Maybe. We don't know.
Fawcett.
I'm not sure this isn't the second set already.
It's a great back downline return. And let's see, he's going to in the corner, and he did almost too hard.
Oh, he's toying with him.
Yes.
Yep. Switch. Yep.
Perfect example of how in paddle you can't necessarily even get away with that. Look at this.
Does that count as around the net post?
It
was close.
It was close enough.
We'll give it to him.
All right, then that's our third one on the CPTC live stream.
Third around the net post shot, really?
Yeah.
I think we've only seen one beanball tonight so far with this match. No, I think Dave
so.
took one off the knee or the thigh. That's it. Well, they're definitely treating it like a set point. Some of you club players at home just looking at this, watching this rally. If you, again, Trey mentioned the shifting. There's no question that that's what's going on, especially right there. You just watch Tom Fawcett. He'll actually, even giving up the net, he's actually literally got one foot on either side of the center service line. And it's about position and covering the center of the court. It's a good shot.
And as much as this feels like Stu and David have the advantage at net, one wrong move and they're getting a Fawcett drive.
Yes. And that, if we're not mistaken, that is the first set. Unbelievable battle here for the Series 2 CPTC final here for the playoffs. So we're going to go to a break and take another word from the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. So we'll be back in a second.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute is the best choice for orthopedic care. Our walk-in ortho access clinics provide treatment by orthopedic specialists without a trip to the ER. With evening and weekend hours, we provide your family with excellent care when it matters most. Visit ibji.com to find an ortho access immediate care clinic near you.
All right. Just breaking it down a little country style there. What happened to that one right there?
I think you muted your phone.
Did I?
Well, who knows? To quote the great Sacha Baron Cohen, "Wah wah wee wah." That was a great first set.
It was. It was awesome. Tell you what, you got to say, again, the guys that you'll see in paddle these days versus guys that you've seen from years ago. I think the level has gotten so much better. And I mean that because I think there's a lot of tennis players that are playing this game now. And sometimes it's a little frustrating for some club players, but I think it's done nothing but just bring the level up and actually, to me, make the game even more interesting. There's no question about it. You get guys that have some great racket skills. It only serves to put more depth in the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and I think even as we're seeing now with the addition of the underhand serve, that's purely because returners are getting too good.
No question. I mean, let's face it, they're just pounding away. So, Trey, good point. You know who's just jumping back on the mic here is John Noble, our esteemed leader. Well, one of them anyway, if not the.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'd call you that. You know.
No, I appreciate that.
Have you been watching this first set, John?
It was pretty amazing.
Really, I think so.
Yeah, no, it was really entertaining.
Yeah,
so I was
no
glad
question.
we were able to get the guests we got in, but yeah, we were definitely watching some of the new style.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Mr. Fawcett.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's reminiscent of your backhand right there, John.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Now, are there any adjustments you think Dave and Stu should make here coming into the second set?
Well, I think watching the last couple points, Dave started to take a little more control and take the pace off of everything and really started to bring a little bit more touch and feel. So, because Tom's going to, if you keep ripping that, you've got errors that are going to happen.
Yes.
And it's just a question of what's the percentages. And Tom will miss some of those. So if you can weather the storm, as it were.
Yes.
But it's just how many times can you put your hand on the stove and not get it burned.
And I think they did a pretty good job of that climbing back in the set because they were down
5-2. Yeah.
And I think they did a little bit of what you're describing just to get back in it. The other thing I could say was a lot of the ones that they paid for with some of those Fawcett drives were shorter in the court, which he could get on top of.
Yeah.
And as a bigger player like that, I mean, anybody even with talent, forget the fact that he's bigger, his strike zone, if it's a little above net level, guys that can hit the ball that hard are going to be tough to deal with if you're having to deal with the ball where he's hitting it from basically no man's land, if you will, or the backcourt area, rather than get back near the baseline, maybe get a little bit more time to react to it, no?
No, I totally agree. I think it's part of it is you see them crawl all over the net. You just can't hit double drives.
Sure.
So it's kind of one of the things you forget because you get into a groove, but effectively you need to change the style of what you're going to play. And so whether Stu and Dave will do that. Dave has flexibility within his game to do that, and I think Stu does as well. But the question is, are they in the mode they really can go 90-10 the other way?
Sure.
And if they can, then I think you're in for a third set.
You know, it's funny, John. I don't mean to interrupt you. I think they're definitely capable because I've seen Dave play enough. Stu not as much, but Stu seems he's got pretty much every shot too, and the ability to do whatever needs to be done. Because again, when they climbed back into that set, which was impressive, they were able to change gears a little bit. So
yeah, and they have to stay with it. That's the problem. Is you'll get back into it, and paddle's so tempting that way.
Oh yeah.
That I figured it out, and then you get back into the other mode. That got you into the trouble in the first place. Because that's what's more comfortable for you.
Yes.
So they're going to have to stay in the mode that probably is just a little bit further away from what they like to play in. And if they'll stay with that, then I think. Then you want to see the reactions from Tom and David, whether they're going to make that adjustment and calm down and get back to maybe hitting 70% of what they were doing versus 95, 100.
No question. Matter of fact, I think Trey even mentioned it, and I think we were talking about it. Once they got back to square in the set, they seem to change back, or they seem to switch back. So to your point, it's a really good point. If they just maybe steadied it and stayed with what they were doing.
Yeah,
who knows?
It's the little devil in paddle that we all fight. So, hey, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for everything the year. It's been great, and
thank you.
Fitting the docks in and IBGI, it was great. The problem is they're usually playing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Brian plays on Thursday night, and David plays. I forget which night is his, but. And they're doing surgeries and stuff, so it was really cool. But I think also for the flexibility you guys had, Cal, and you guys just getting this thing set up so we could run the week.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome. So as we get this kicked off, I'm just going to say goodnight and watch this outside and just thank you guys and just have a great time.
John.
And we'll talk more. But great job. Keep it rolling.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
John Noble. Awesome. Kind words making me feel good. Gives me a warm feeling, guys. I don't know about you. I'm not ashamed to say it either.
As someone who's not a mainstay on this channel, I have to say thank you guys for inviting me.
Not until now.
I guess not until now, but you guys have put on quite a production, and it's amazing to watch.
Well, thank you for being here, Trey. It's been awesome. As a matter of fact, I think it's even more awesome that there's that connection with your dad. Like I said, I knew your dad, at least, like I said, just from an account standpoint, being a territory rep, and didn't even put the two together. The fact that I'm sitting next to you, I just thought it was kind of one of those ironic coincidences, not to be redundant about it. Anyway, so it's 15-all, the second set. A la John Noble's comment, let's just see if Dave and Stu can climb back in this thing.
Now, I love that ball, because I think that they're going to need to test Tom here and see if he can continue to make as good of drives as he was making in that first set.
You know what's amazing is I think that might be the first serve I've ever seen on the live stream that Stu's missed. I mean, like I said, not that we're going to be jinxing him that way, because I don't think it's even possible. Like that cutter.
There you go.
That
See
thing
how they're
just
starting to pick on that backhand
Exactly.
a little bit more.
And died on the vine there. Some nice action from Mr. Bukowski, finding the nick on that last cutter. That's that one I'm talking about where you can get on top of it because it's short. Well, let's face it, it is a drive off a serve, so it's going to be off a short ball.
Yeah, I mean, Tom is the reason people are hitting underhand serves, because he can get on top of the ball and just hammer it.
Yep. You know, it's interesting, years ago, and of course I'm going to say that because you guys are too young to say years ago. But you could say it, but it just doesn't mean much. Didn't see a lot of those semi-western grips and a lot of driving off the backhand side. It's not like you didn't see that even in paddle, but it was a little bit more of a eastern forehand continental grip type of thing, not as much top. So they didn't, even though guys could, you know, maybe skim the net with some flat forehands and maybe rip a few, they didn't have quite the pace that I'm seeing now. And I'll just say that, and oh man, he caught that.
Well, to your point, it's very interesting to see the direct correlation of the changes that are helping tennis grow come straight into paddle here.
No question. Yeah, there was a lot less driving way back when. At least driving for, I don't want to say offense, but driving as aggressively as you see now. It's great position off the serve from Bukowski. That's called reading where the serve landed and just shifting. That's just just awesome fundamental paddle. Okay, that's the baited drive you're talking about, Trey.
Absolutely. I think he's playing so much to the middle. You got to throw that one in there every once in a while.
And at a perfect
because he wants
pace
to drive that backhand.
Right, and at a perfect pace so he doesn't get a chance to really take a swing at it. Ball's not going to kick up with enough
As
pace
Mike
for you
Raleigh
to
likes to say, throw a little chum in the water. See if you can get him in there.
a chum burger, yeah. Sick. Those are three awesome shots in a row. The serve, the return, and the first volley. Smart.
It's been quite a few misses off that backhand side when they go there. I think they have a good working game plan here.
No question. Even though Tom Fawcett missed that, got to give a lot of those two-handers credit to be able to have enough feel to hit. Nice touch from Bukowski to hit a lob, like a flex lob with two hands, and maybe even put a little topspin on it.
Couldn't agree more.
Not an easy ball to hit. Oh, he was there too. It's big.
Really a tone setter. That's
Absolutely.
my contribution.
No, there's no question about it. Did they do something to the ball?
Wow, he hit that so hard. He may have split the ball.
I'd like to see what that ball looks like.
He should sign that, sell it.
Who's the sponsor? Is it Master? Did they play Master? I don't even know.
It's like Sandlot when he knocks the stuffing out of the
Viking.
ball. I mean, you just got to keep that.
Well, I just saw him throw it in the trash can, so that's
Wow.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Well, that's a first. Haven't seen that on the live stream all season, where they literally got to change balls because, hey, man, this is somebody either hit it too hard or too much spin. There seems to be an alien life form coming out of it. Yeah, I just figured I'd get as weird as possible to see if you guys were paying attention. Because it is a break here. We're trying to check out court 2. It's too bad we can't swing the cameras over, and I'm not asking us to do that. I'm just
they're
saying.
coming up on 2.5 hours here over there.
We are. Or they are, I should say.
We are too.
Yeah, I guess we are.
You know?
Yeah.
A little less work from us, though.
Well,
No
yeah, and
question
I'm not
about it.
sure who his partner is, but the trapeze artist over there is still going.
Eddie Trapp,
Goodness
yes.
gracious, he's not even sweating over there.
That's the marathon man. How many matches does that guy play a week? I think he plays for a couple different teams, too. All right, so we're back at it here. They're just getting used to the new ball. And it does look a little heavier. I'm going to say it's a master. That would be my guess. And I'm not saying that there isn't any difference between paddle ball from one to the other, because we all know that there aren't. Yeah, one has a different insignia on it. All right, we're back to deuce here. Stu Bradley serve. You know, I kind of almost called that. It was like, because a new ball, it's going to be a little more lively. You got to watch the first serve. When I say first serve, I mean first serve
Back.
back. Yes. So now a break point here. It's in there. Oh, baited into a little backhand screen drive, and an aggressive one at that from David Pollock. Almost pulled it off, to his credit. Back to deuce. Nice
good
dig,
save.
yeah. Came out of the nick. Uh-oh.
Great lob.
Yep. Good re-lob, as they say, off that one, too.
In this game, at least, in these last few resets to deuce, we haven't seen Tom and Dave up at the net as much as they were in previous points.
You're right, Cal. Might even work out for him.
Yeah.
I mean, we were saying that earlier in the telecast. If you're playing a team with just a bullet drive, somebody like Fawcett, for instance, who just hits the daylights out of a drive, especially short ones, best thing to do, don't let him drive. Bring him to the net. Probably better off doing that. That way he can't do what he likes to do. And I'm not saying he doesn't like to volley. Oh, good blitz from Bukowski.
It's a great move.
Pressuring Pollock there. And now a point to hold here for Bradley and Bukowski. And all of a
Yeah, I think
sudden,
it's-
Bukowski going in motion to use a... I know football season's over, but I figured...
I think it's 5-2 add out here. So this will be their second add in to try to
Unbelievable.
to close it.
What a drive. He's there. What hustle from Pollock. Amazing. I mean, forget about whether it's warm or not. That was just great speed.
And I think a good thing to notice here, especially for our club players, is that 95% of Dave Pollock's lobs are going down the line. And what that's going to do is, one, they're not going to be able to get to his corner quite as much.
Sure.
Two, hopefully they leave it a little in the middle for his partner to pick off.
Exactly.
And that's
Open
going
it
to
up
be
for
the game.
that big drive, and that is the game. Excellent, excellent hold from Bradley and Bukowski for Westmoreland to take a 1-love lead in this second set. And again, it has been a battle.
Yeah. To quote the famous Mike Raleigh, that was a battle. Of course, he wasn't talking about paddle.
All right. So I should say Dave Pollock at the net, Tom Fawcett to serve with that distinctive yet familiar underhand serve motion, square stance. Kind of digging that. Haven't seen that much. Good looking reset. I mean, as slow as I am, wow. That's a way to take advantage of a guy kind of retreating there, no, Trey?
Absolutely.
And look at Fawcett was up on the net, and then he actually just backed off, and Bukowski noticed that. Just kind of lasered one over the net low like that. Tough to volley when you're on your back foot. Little long.
I'm not sure who won, but our marathon match on court 2 is finally
Wow. It'll be interesting. So love 30. That might fly. It did. Almost seemed like he moved in ready for a forehand volley, which we've all done. I'd rather hit a forehand volley too. That's big.
And it looks like Dave and Tom just trying to get back together after losing that kind of ridiculous game.
Yes. It's a good roller. Still in it, 15-40.
Some communication right before the
All right.
point there.
Yeah. Nice to hear that. You got a lot of confidence in your partner.
You know, and I feel like we see this a lot where there's a lot more adjustments being made after the set rather than after the game.
Oh!
I think he got it.
He hit it.
I think he got it.
He hit it.
That's another one. Just clap your hands, say great shot.
Unbelievable.
And he did. Look at that. Stu Bradley saying nice shot.
Wow. Okay, still a break point, even after that spectacular shot that probably should have been worth 2. Oh, that's costly. He had fun, though. You know, like to say that to students sometimes, Trey and Cal. Tell people, hey, you know what? You want to play percentage paddle, here's how you do it. You want to have your fun? Okay, you can do that. Just realize there are opportunity costs for doing that.
Yeah.
Having some fun. That's probably just a life lesson right there, guys.
Can't put a price on fun.
Sorry to be
Always never forget that.
sorry to be philosophical and maudlin for you. Oh, again, awesome dipping topspin backhand return from Tom Fawcett, 15 all. It's in there.
How much does the atmosphere affect these guys out there on the court? I'm sure everyone's different.
Well, with
but
this amount of people, I
yeah.
think it has to.
Yeah.
I think it has to. They have to play some great points. People are hanging off the screens here. They're looking for good points.
Yeah.
Exactly. Undercurrent and noise a little bit.
Yeah.
You just get used to it, though. I don't know. I've never been and of course I played racket sports my whole life, but I love it. Great read from Bukowski. Not easy to do, but that's a lot. You played a lot of paddle when you're figuring that out. You knew it was going to be an overhead pound down into the court, and you just decided, hey, great plan. I tell you what, more to John Noble and the way he described this, but I think Bukowski and Bradley have definitely had a conference and definitely have a philosophy for this set, and it so far seems to be working.
Yeah.
And as John Noble said while he was in here, sometimes you just have to weather that storm.
Yep.
And that's exactly what it was, and that's exactly what they're doing here.
No question. So 3-love, Bukowski and Bradley for Westmoreland over Fawcett and Pollock of Winnetka/AC Nielsen.
And Sean and Trey, how much would you attribute this kind of rolling of the last 2 games to just how close and long that first game was?
Wow. Great question. You know something? I think it does have something to do with it because there is kind of a momentum shift as soon as you can win that first game. But let's face it, Fawcett and Pollock won the first set, so in a way they're kind of can be a little bit more comfortable even if they lose the first game. Now, after that, like I said, I think Bradley and Bukowski have really bared down. Of course, as soon as I say that, Bukowski hits a loose forehand, but and have been able to seize the momentum, if you will.
I think Dave Pollock as well has probably the tamest serve we've seen tonight.
Yeah.
A lot of people just slinging it with kick serves, and he's just taking it nice and easy.
No question. It's not like it's hurting them.
No.
That'll just give you a certain kind of an idea of how paddle is played. You don't have to have like a bullet serve. Matter of fact, you're probably better off not serving too hard. That's a huge snap on that backhand from Tom Fawcett. It's impressive for a bigger guy to be able to get down that low like that. Yeah, and sometimes those serves, it's almost like you're baiting the returner to hit a big return because the serve, because it's slower, will allow your drive-stopping partner to get in position.
And again, I think at this level, the serve is a small detail in the construction of a point. While some players have great serves, they can use the screens to slow it down. So Dave's just saying, hey, let's get this point started.
Exactly.
And there's game. Important game, I'm sure, to kind of get the momentum
get the whole
back
stem
on
the
their side.
tide a little bit right,
Yeah.
Cal. No question. All right, 3-1. Stu Bradley to serve for Westmoreland with the break.
And I guess this goes with any sport, but especially paddle. I mean, momentum is just such a, especially when you have points where it's all about the mentality of slowing it down when you need to and having patience, that momentum just plays a huge role, the psychological side of paddle. Someone should make a podcast about that.
We just have lemonade talk about it, you know, because we have that Paddle Hacks theme. Oh, look at the, oh, awesome, awesome reaction from Tom Fawcett off that next shot. Again, that topspin lob off the dig, very stylish. And again, style points, Trey, I don't know whether we even keep track of those, but they're piling up.
For sure. And I think in my match history, I usually win more style points than I win matches.
Now, I heard that about you, Trey, which is an admirable quality. I mean, in my book, I don't know if I'm an endorsement. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I'm not an endorsement. He's there. I tell you what, you'd be a rich guy if you had you got paid every time Tom Fawcett hit a backhand return that was forcing him for a winner. Amazing. Our 15-all?
Yeah.
Nice. These guys have been reading the nick as well as any players we've seen
And I think because
all week.
I think because it's such a viable option for these players to hit, both players have to be ready when that ball goes into the
No
corner.
question. And I know not only the player fielding it, but even their partner is always in position, even if it kicks out in the middle. Look at the touch, and they both stayed home and got it. That's, you know, I got to tell you something. That's sportsmanship right there. I mean, technically, I mean, it didn't look like it saw any space there, but a lot of guys would be calling that out. And
You got to
Fawcett called
imagine
that
in
good.
college tennis, he probably called that out one or two times.
I
huh?
doubt it. He seemed like
No,
a nice kid, but
no,
no. But you're right.
I
though,
think he's got
Trey.
sportsmanship here.
No question. I mean, that could have gone either. I mean, I didn't see any space, but I've seen guys call that out. So kudos to Tom Fawcett.
Well, he's got a lot of people watching.
I don't. Yeah,
Fair
that's
point.
why.
Fair point.
I don't think he cares. I think he just like that.
No, I mean, and who wants to win like that?
Well, I for one would be happy to. No,
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
a win is a win.
No,
Cal.
I would not. I would not want to do that. Do we? And jumping into the booth, it's Jay Love. What's happening, Jason? How are you?
Good. Series 9. Glad you just won.
Phenomenal.
Coming to pick up our hats and celebrate.
You know what? Hats, mugs, celebration, the big three.
And shout out to the 4 lucky people that got those hats without winning.
Okay.
We're actually asking for more. We need about 20 hats.
If I'd known, I could pre-book you some. Anyway, I don't know if anybody even caught that last roller that Tom Fawcett hit from maybe 2 feet behind the service line. Not necessarily an advisable shot. Nice pickup from Stu Bradley. He let it go, and he's there. It's a good waterfall, but Dave's up to the task. That is Dave Bukowski. Once again, this is the CPTC live stream. We are streaming the Series 2 final for the CPTC. These are the two teams that have made it. What a dig and what a get. Look at the teamwork here. Smart. Bukowski's got showing the familiar speed. What a point sit. No, in there.
And right back to the net.
Yes, a lob volley. You know, you don't see that very often either. Shot makers out there. What a shot. He's there. Oh, almost. Unbelievable
Great
point.
move.
I mean, I tell you what, and this capacity, if I can say that, crowd is digging every minute of it. If you just tuned in, I'm Sean Albrecht. I'm here with Trey Scott and Cal Noble and Jason Love. If we had another mic, if we had an audio engineer who knew what he was doing, oh, that's right, it's me. And apparently I don't. But if we could get another mic out here, we'd have on there. But I think Jason, being the director here at the beautiful Glenview Golf Club, has got too many things to do. A talented commentator, and obviously the ratings would shoot straight up, like I say, if you got on the mic, because they drop when I get here.
And we are in a deuce, correct?
We are.
Yeah.
Nice flick from David Pollock. And I love how mobile Tom Fawcett is to get away with kind of a fake blitz there. Nice roller from Bukowski. That's big, but good hands.
And he's there.
Oh, it's good cover. Scoop.
I mean, from both teams, how many times should this point already be over?
Exactly. Wow.
Again, I think this is another momentum game because every point just feels like a mountain.
No question. Some really good chemistry from Bradley and Bukowski, because a couple of times there was almost a miscommunication at the net and there was a save, especially on Bradley's part, but even on Bukowski's part. So amazing. Thanks for stopping by, Jace.
Did we say something? Gosh, he left pretty quick.
Well, you know what? I've been kicked out of finer establishments. Not really. Okay, so we have an ad. Oh, and I check that. That's game for Bradley and Bukowski. And they go up 4-1. So if you didn't think this was an even matchup, Fawcett and Pollock win the first set 7-5. Kind of a seesaw battle getting there.
Yeah.
And now Bukowski and Bradley
Well, let's not forget.
shoot out to a lead. Go ahead.
Tom Fawcett and Dave Pollock were up exactly like this in the first set, and they were able to reel it back to make it a very close set. So who knows?
Wow, it's almost like you're.
Truer
you
words have never been said.
Yeah,
Who knows?
it's eerie the way he said it. It's like he knows something. It's like he's psychic or something.
I've got a 20 on this game.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a point shaving scandal in paddle. Okay, anyway.
Well, as always, we are the official scoreboard here at the CPTC
So if
live
any point
stream,
savings
so,
going on,
yeah.
we know about it. Tell you what, that is just a huge kick serve, and almost hit the nick, literally right in the center, but he missed it. And of course, Bukowski was right there, just missed. Wow.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That is a new strategy that
Well,
I think only someone 6'4" could have.
Exactly. I mean, generally those don't work out, but I guess if you're planning on staying back anyway.
Well, let's give a shout out to that poor guy Nick, who's been hit like what 85 times tonight.
Tip your server.
Yeah.
Cal will be here for at least another couple hours. That's it. Most of it just cleaning up, right? We're going to be doing them.
Boy, there's a different energy in this game coming from Tom and Dave.
No
isn't
question. He's just decided, you know what? We are up a set. I think we should start acting like it. Is that what he's thinking?
there? I think so.
That was a casual reset. One of my faves. Nice drive. What a pick. Unbelievable.
I got it.
Nice roller.
You know, I think we could all take a workout lesson from Tom Fawcett to be able to hit that forehand that many times that
Yes.
hard.
Well, he definitely, to the point we were making before, has awesome mechanics. What a shot that's going to work. David Pollock with a beautiful reset overhead off his back foot down the line into the alley.
And we're back to 2-4. Well, not back to 2-4, but we're at 2-4.
Well, you could say that. We were at 2-4 in the first set, so it's not as though this is unfamiliar territory. Dave Bukowski to serve. 4-2 up for Westmoreland. Winnetka won the first set 7-5.
I don't think you could ask for a better match for your
I
finals.
don't think so either. Last match of the year.
Well, let's
Conceivably.
hope courts 2 through 4 don't disappoint either.
Exactly.
True.
Look at that. That was great disguise on that drive. I didn't see that coming at all. That's not an endorsement. Oh, good hands from Stu Bradley. I would just say characteristic hands. I mean, it's almost like I'm just expecting that from him. He's been volleying that well. Here we go with the eye again. Let's see if it works out of it. And it does. It's all about position. tried to crease that sideline. And finally, the layers start to come off here. You mentioned it, Cal. He's been pretty much doing Pilates since the first game of the They would have had to cart me off.
Or Zumba. Sean, you strike me as a Zumba guy.
You know what?
He's more of a bar, I think.
Anything with a with a vowel at the end of the word is fine with me. Pilates won't work. Karaoke's good. Going I again. And the cool thing is, if you can see the sign, which, you know, it's kind of like a baseball game, you actually see what he's calling as a pitch. He tried to take that as a one-timer, and I give him credit. I mean, I suppose if you're that rangy, you might be able to pull that off, but Stu just hit too good an overhead. 40-15. Good hands. Oh, he's there.
Oh, and they're calling that out.
Yeah. It wasn't long?
Wouldn't have mattered.
Exactly. All right.
So
5-2. Bukowski and Bradley for Westmoreland.
And one could say we're back again at 5-2.
Again.
But that's only because I had the score wrong.
Vujade, yes. No. It was here before that there was a surge to get back to 5-all.
Well, it turned out it was.
If we kept the score properly, yeah, exactly. Which we always do. So no.
Well, and we are the official scoreboard of whatever club we go to. They use us for the final.
Absolutely. All right, David Pollock to serve. Down 2-5 for Westmo.
A little refreshing to see just a nice, clean serve.
Yep. What are you trying to say, Cal?
It's more my speed.
All right, gotcha.
It's nice to be represented out there.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well,
Minus the consistency.
I think the important part is David Pollock is showing that simplicity works.
No question about it. Of course, they are down 5-2, and they just lost that point.
Simplicity
Bukowski.
worked.
It did. It has so far. They do have it the first set. Anyway, Bukowski just played a great point on that last one, and that overhead was amazing. So we're talking love 30. This does happen in paddle, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen, and they're always going to try, but there are times when you realize you feel like either the momentum is a certain way or you're not really sure about the score.
I think we just saw Tom Fawcett's forehand there told you to stop saying whatever you're about to.
Well, on the other hand, if he's just going to haul off and rip it, that's necessarily not always advisable. You'll do it if you just feel like you want to take a few chances. My point is, sometimes if you feel like you're behind enough in a set, you've got to go 3 sets. I'm not going to say you cash in. I'm just going to say sometimes you do conserve a little bit. If you're of the older set, and you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, because like I said, I'm 3 times both of your age together. There it is. He's there. Nice.
And there it is.
There it is, the second set. So, kind of along the lines of what we were just suggesting, and if it is just me, then I was suggesting it. Fine. I don't mind. So here we go with the, we're going to come back for the third set here at beautiful Glenview Golf Club.
From the heart of Chicago up to the North Shore and stretching from the northwest suburbs down to Kankakee. From urgent in-office care to virtual in-home visits, we're making orthopedic care available wherever and however you need it. Because while we're adapting our lives to keep each other safe, we know that new injuries will happen and old injuries will still linger. And IBJI is here to help.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute is the best choice for orthopedic care. Our walk-in ortho access clinics provide treatment by orthopedic specialists without a trip to the ER. With evening and weekend hours, we provide your family with excellent care when it matters most. Visit ibji.com to find an ortho access immediate care clinic near you.
All right, paddle hacks, baby.
Who is singing on that track, Sean?
Some loser.
Yeah. Well, I think that one without saying.
Some loser is out.
Trey doing a little warming up for the third set. Here, getting some stretch in.
Stretch
and,
out, a la Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. You gotta.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show how important the service those gentlemen provided, because we're already taking it to heart here.
Yes, exactly. I'm making an appointment right now. Oh no, I'm gonna have to make 3 appointments. That's how fat I am.
Oh.
You got to look at 3 parts of me, in thirds. It's like the court. We always talk about the courts being in thirds. There's me in thirds.
I don't know if this is a generational thing, but I think you're confusing IBJ with Planet Fitness. $9 a month.
Are you telling me that's all I can afford? You're probably right.
Well.
Anyway, so.
Understandable to take a nice long break between the second and third set, especially how hard those guys have been playing. And I would be surprised if, for a guy like Tom Fawcett with a ridiculous forehand, when you take breaks like this, I'm sure I don't want to speak for him, but you probably get a little sore, a little tired.
Maybe. I don't know. He looks like he's in pretty good shape. I would think he's also a young kid, so I think he'll be all right.
He's hit about, 150 of those at top speed.
Yeah, but you got to remember, that guy played on tennis tour. How many of those, when he used to practice, would he hit? Pretty much every shot.
Well, Sean, you got to remember, I can't hit more than 10, and 4 of those will be in the net.
And then you got to take a break. Got to take a nap.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Anyway, we are back. Glenview Golf Club. May I say again, beautiful place. We've been here all week. Not to make the comedic reference when I say that. We don't mean like we'd be here all week and tip your server, like I said about Cal and his fabulous material, but we have enjoyed every minute of it. Jason Love could not have been more hospitable setting us up here.
We stole his Amazon Echo cord.
We did, and we owe him.
Yeah.
And when I say fruit basket, chocolate, okay, just Omaha steaks, I don't know. I'm trying to think what we can order for the guy just to make up for the inconvenience.
I don't know. I've hit about 10 things in this office that I don't know if you'll ever find.
I think that's our way of doing it. Let's hide stuff, and then in a couple of weeks, when he comes asking, we're just like, you know what, you should check here, and that's our gift to him.
Well, you can hide stuff. Just don't hide family members. You just because that's always scary. Somebody just jumps out of the basement. Anyway, we're back for the third set. And as we said, it is a battle, and the crowd, and there is a crowd here, is really enjoying this match between Westmoreland, Series 2 Westmoreland.
And you can't totally tell from the angle, but there's about 50 or 60 more people in that parking lot that you can't see.
Wow, they tailgating?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sean, you might get your wish of having some people dance under those romantic comedy lights over there.
Well, I told you, if nobody else does, I'm just gonna. What's the old Billy Idol song? Dancing with myself. No comments, guys. Don't say that.
Dancing on my own.
All right, we can say that too.
Song.
We can say that too.
By different people.
That's about 20 years later.
Well.
All right, so this third set, and if you just joined us, great timing. Of course, you missed the first 2 blazing sets, and we don't mean that they took no time at all. I mean there were some just fireworks. Awesome paddle between Tom Fawcett, David Pollock, and Dave Bukowski and Stu Bradley. Stu to serve to start the third right here for Westmoreland. Lets it go. And again, when you get a new ball, got to adjust to it. I think Dave Pollock just coasted one long, just getting used to it there. Nice serve.
Nasty serve there.
That was. Kind of hit part of the nick there.
Again, I don't want to jinx anybody, but we've seen very few faults in this game.
Exactly. And as I said before, I think Stu Bradley's maybe faulted once during the entire telecast, the entire season. That's going to go in and hit him. It's too bad, too, because he actually had his racket on that one. I should say paddle. Racket, paddle. Tomato.
Yeah, I'm sure it helps morale when you're fighting these crazy long points to not fault.
Yes. No question. So 30-15, a slick switch from Bradley and Bukowski over there at the baseline. Tom Fawcett hitting that backhand. David Pollock with the volley right there. Just in case you didn't know who was who. And now that we're introducing or reintroducing ourselves, Sean Albrecht on the mic with you with Trey Scott and Cal Noble.
Unfortunately, filling in for the irreplaceable
There is no
Matthew
question
McLaren.
about
We
it.
wish him well. In
I
his
know,
recovery.
we're going to say yes. His recovery from back surgery. Speaking of Illinois Bone and Joint, and I'm sure Matt had some type of consultation with the IBJI.
Well, we'll hold you to that.
Boy, I thought someone was missing on this stream.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's him.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
I always tell people this is what I'm what Matt's gonna look like in 50 years. All right, anyway, Bukowski and Bradley won that first game amidst my horrible humor. So they will switch, and Tom Fawcett will start things off for Winnetka here in the third. And let's see if he goes. He is. He's going with the open stance, underhand serve again, which he does pretty well, but just keeps hitting the net. Probably has done that 4 or 5 times, and yet they still have been able to win his serve appreciably. Here's this huge kick serve he's been hitting, especially on the edge side. Bukowski does know how to handle it, though, and does. Good roller. Again, they say don't try this at home. I'm not so sure you can say that about Tom. He's been able to hit that ball 4 or 5 feet from the service line and still keep the roller in. That was a nice underhand serve, but Stu Bradley handled it.
It's really a pickleball serve.
You know what? It is. They keep changing the rules of pickleball. Another Nick shot. Should be keeping track of that. That's got to be like 17 or 18 between the two teams. 30-15. Nice. Good hands.
Wow.
Yeah. I was feeling pretty good about Stu's screen drive there, and Tom and Dave weren't all that impressed with it. This roller ball, as they like to say. It's going in. Can these guys be any more mobile? Unbelievable. Sit.
Snake eyes.
Yes. The lob volley. As we like to say, very teaching pro-esque, and the way he just dished that with 2 hands, the emergency 2-hander, one of my favorite shots of all time. Not that I can hit it. Unbelievable point.
And again, I really want to give kudos to Dave Pollock there for knowing his role. I think he hit maybe one ball that entire point and let Tom give us fireworks like we've been seeing.
So funny you say that, Trey. There's some people who just feel like they need to get involved in a point, and if you're really disciplined and you're really playing true paddle, you just got to know, hey, sometimes you're not going to touch the ball. Anyway, great hold from Fawcett and Pollock. We're knotted at 1-1. That's good spin. Like the change of pace. Great idea. Because you draw him in with a big drive, couple of them, and then he just rolls it, dies at the screen.
And not necessarily in one of those points where the ball's moving so fast. But paddle is one of those sports where you really can change your game plan in the middle of a point. You have the time.
Yes. Matter of fact, in mid-shot, depending on how good you are about changing your grip, you can change the, what a hands. Okay, unbelievable. Stu Bradley finds himself at the right place at the right time and hits the right shot. That was not an easy backhand volley, that flex. And he got away with a 15-all, 1-all. A set apiece could not be closer.
Jeez.
I tell you what, I'm not going to say they're getting used to what a shot. I'm not going to say they're getting used to Fawcett's pace on the ground. Maybe from the baseline drive they are. I don't know if they're getting used to it off the return, but they definitely, like right there, look at that.
I mean, how many times in the last 2 points have we just seen Stu Bradley hold off, however fast that forehand's
Yes,
going,
yeah,
right at
no
the
question.
And again, I'd love to see Tom, instead of ripping all of those forehands, now that Stu and Dave are becoming that wall, throw up a lob, fake it out a little bit.
Sure.
They're closing on the net hard to cover that drive.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. Yeah, you're right. A changeup would not just be a changeup of speed of the drive, but a lob. Great waterfall. Hitting the nick from Bukowski. You got to love it.
And again, Sean, as you
40-30
said,
for a hold point. Go ahead, Cal.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, I mean, every game's important, but you'd have to think this one, and there it goes, is very important for momentum here.
No question.
Well, as TLC said, don't go chasing waterfalls.
The Learning Channel.
Yeah. You can call me T-Boz from now on, by the way, guys. I've decided I don't want to be called Sean anymore. T-Boz is where we go. So 2-1, Westmoreland, Bukowski and Bradley. I don't want to say shooting
sorry,
out to
sorry
her.
to interrupt you guys, but the Mike Raleigh just texted me. Tell him it's Glenview Club, not Glenview Golf Club.
Really?
I believe that's directed at Sean.
Yeah, but see, I look at. All right, never mind. He's right. All right, so
Well,
Mike,
I'm gonna have to
no, it's okay. He's
possibly
probably right.
disagree. Yeah, it is the Glenview Club here on
So not
Apple
Glenview
Maps.
Well, if
Okay.
anyone would know, it would be Mike
It would
Raleigh.
Mike
be
Raleigh.
Raleigh.
You know what? He's right.
Vegas wasn't built on losers.
You know what?
Or Vegas. What's the saying? Trey?
It is built on losers.
You were very close, I think.
Yeah.
You're something like that. But you know what? Mike's absolutely right. The thing I have a problem with is that I'm a golfer and I dream about playing courses like that. So if there's it's an Exmoor Country Club, I'll go Exmoor Golf Club just because I'm just ready.
He's golf on the brain.
Exactly. So Mike Raleigh, you're absolutely right wherever you are.
And Dave.
Even if
Call
you're
it
going to
to
face
serve.
me. Yeah. All right, so as like I said, 2-1, or I should say 1-2, Bukowski and Bradley from Westmo.
Oh, that's a little off-speeder.
Yep.
Potentially unnecessary.
You know what? Nice of Stu Bradley to kind of apologize for that. I kind of think he hit that pretty well and kind of intentionally. Anyway, love 15.
Well, I guess it's like winning a hand of poker and not showing your cards.
Never have. Won a hand of poker or shown my cards. Nope. Good leave from Tom Fawcett.
Oh, and he's
tie it up at
basically a
15.
walking Hawkeye. It's easier for him to leave those.
Apparently. Nice. Get over. I almost love it when stuff like that, even though Bukowski got caught kind of in not the greatest position, when those go over. Good read from Dave. Fawcett was poaching on that last one. On the one-timer. Again, Bukowski and Bradley coming up with the goods with some of these screeners. Oh, and Stu had it lined up. Maybe didn't even need to hit it that hard, but who am I to say that? Got some style points for trying it.
And yet
We're
again,
all about those style points here.
No question.
and yet again, a very, very important point here. Could prove to
Exactly.
be, rather.
40, a little wide. Thought that was going to come down on the line, but no. So we're knotted up at deuce here in the third set at the Glenview Club, although they do have golf. We're not going to call the Glenview Golf Club. At least I'm not. Dave Bukowski and Stu Bradley on the far side for Westmoreland Country Club, playing Tom Fawcett and David Pollock of Winnetka, falling a little long there with the lob, and a hold point here for Winnetka and Pollock and Fawcett. Oh, Bukowski just kind of honing in on that nick.
And it looks like we got a little limp here from.
Is he cramping? I think Dave, he needs a break of some kind. I think there is just a little cramping, and they have been playing in inordinate heat. And I say heat, it's not necessarily warm like you would think in the conventional sense out there, but it is warm for paddle. I mean, Trey, you check the temperature. Where are we at right now?
Looks like we're right around 45 degrees, which again is not warm by any means, but
No.
for us paddle nights, I mean, 2 of the 4 players are in shorts tonight.
No question. And not only that, they've been out there for a while, and it's been a very physical, shot-laden match. And sometimes when you say shot-laden, I mean, there are certain times where you just hit a block volley.
Oh, and there we go. We've got a banana, some potassium
Sheared
for
banana.
the cramping.
It's nice.
And Dave Pollock's there. He's been digging a lot of shots there. They've been picking on him quite a bit tonight, so he's got the brunt of the work going.
No question. By the way, if you're at home thinking, you know what, because I know some people probably are, I'm just going to say it. How much time do you have between points? How much time can you give your opponent? You know what? Paddle really is all about sportsmanship. I know it sounds cliched, but you know what? If he needs a minute or two, it's really okay. We can keep going. I mean, obviously there are rules, but you know what? We're all about. Oh, that's a very uncharacteristic, I should say. Miss from Dave Bukowski. Doesn't miss an overhead very often, if at all. That's a smart. We'd call it just a block drive, maybe, Trey?
I think so.
Figuring, you know, when you hold your paddle like that, typical of a racket sport, you can pretty much go either way with that. Fawcett had to figure out which way it was going to go, and although he kind of guessed right, it might have been at the tail end of that one, and Stu was able to get that one. Here we go with unbelievable, and that is a break.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's a boost when you have your your opponent struggling, cramping, and then on the other side of the court, those guys are doing jumping jacks, warming up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough too because Dave has really been putting that corner all match.
He is, and Dave Pollock is kind of struggling a little bit, even after it takes a little while for the Gatorade and the banana to take effect. Take my word for it. Matter of fact, I don't even know if because since we're sponsored and we had both venerable doctors here from the Illinois Bone and Joint, and we asked those questions. I should say I kind of asked them. But there were questions that a lot of people would ask anyway. There is one cure for cramps. It's funny. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but there are times when I've actually been told, and this person was a medical professional. While they were not a surgeon, they were a physician. And they said, well, listen, if you really can stand it, if you drink some pickle juice, you can actually.
Yeah, I think.
Have you heard that before?
More than anything, salt is what's going to help that.
Yep.
That cramping.
Yep.
Banana, it's going to take far too long to get there.
Well, it's funny you say that. I can say from personal experience, pickle juice is some type of elixir. It's magic.
Well, and not only I can't speak to the magical powers of pickle juice, but salt tablets are what cyclists use on the tour.
Yep.
You'll even see people put salt straight in their Gatorade.
Yeah. I mean, they do literally make tablets. of salt
Yes.
that you just pop in a drink. And
No question about that. I only mentioned pickle juice because I couldn't believe how fast it worked. What a point. Bukowski with the drive, testing Tom Fawcett at the net. And most of the time, Tom Fawcett's going to pass that test, but that time he actually missed the volley wide. So it is 40 love in favor of Westmo. What a big backhand, almost too big in terms of pace.
Oh, got him.
Way to stay aggressive there. Bukowski taking one for the team. Always a good humor, man. He's a real good guy. Great shot, by the way, and great follow-up by Tom Fawcett. 40-15. They're just out. No, he missed. He just missed it. All right.
looks like we got a exciting match on court 2 as well. No idea what the score is or who the players are, but there is a lot of shouting.
They look great, though, don't they?
They look fantastic. We got a guy in short sleeves and shorts. 2 guys in short sleeves and shorts on the same team as luck would have it.
Look, what's key is the Safe Ferris T-shirt. I'm sorry, you can't. There is no coming back from that. And what I mean by that is he's got a distinct advantage with that T-shirt.
True. I'm surprised you can see that from there.
That seems to be local legend Jay Woldenberg, who I think everyone at some point in their career has a story about.
Oh, and they're playing on our court. And that's a point to someone.
Awesome drive from Stu Bradley off of that serve. That kick serve is nasty.
Oh,
I mean, that hit the nick and maybe shot out all the way to almost the other side of the alley, the other alley. So that was big. 15 all. Tom Fawcett with the underhand serve.
That was
a
sneaky,
great
wasn't it?
shot. Bukowski holding that backhand and just flicking it cross court. You can't teach that, guys. Huge. He got it this time. Man, he's
Fawcett
he's
adding a little cut.
He's doing all sorts of stuff. He's putting on a clinic here as Tom Fawcett right there. 30 all. Like I said, sometimes you got to have some fun, guys. And he's definitely enjoying himself. Sid, you got to feel for Dave Pollock. You know, again, struggling a little bit with the cramps. He hits a nick again.
That's 3 in a row, isn't it?
It was. I mean, I think he's just honing on. It's the same toss, pretty much almost hit the same part of the service box. We're at deuce again. Nice. A little tougher to hit a point-ending nick serve on the deuce side. It's not like it's not possible, just a little tougher, especially to a couple of right-handers. That's just a smart kind of chip drive from Dave Pollock there. Drive.
And there, Trey, that's what you were talking about. They're used to him hitting that drive, go for the fake lob, and it works.
Exactly, and it opens up another ball for him to drive. So
Exactly.
I think that's just only a compliment to his drive.
It's got. Are they? That's right. It would be add in, but it put a pretty good case of gamesmanship there. I always tried to do that in college. Hey, that's game. It never worked, but and I don't think to Tom Fawcett's credit, he meant anything by it. I think it's just the heat of the moment. It did feel like game, and he has definitely done enough to win a game with all the shot making he's been pulling off. Nice. You know, it's funny, Trey. I think he's hit the nick on his forehand almost as many times in this game as he has a serve. It dropped in. Scoop. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Good shot. love the move from Bradley. Love the move from Bradley. You see Dave Bukowski back near the service line. You are David Pollock. You're thinking, it's a safer shot. Go ahead, hit it back to Bukowski, and Stu just poaches on it. Little
wide.
He just missed it a little wide on that last serve. This is a break point here for Bukowski and Bradley. He took one-timed it off that thing. There's some good. He's there. Oh, good hands. Awesome. Trey, you were talking about this. Bukowski's lob down the line, or just the lob down the line. Oh, it was not a bad idea. And he broke so early, it's just a matter of where the ball gets placed there. Fawcett was just heady enough to keep the ball to Bukowski's right side. I'll tell you what, Stu Bradley is just reading that roller. It's hooked on phonics over there on the deuce side for Stu Bradley. And another break point. Nice get. Oh.
And as good as Tom Fawcett is hitting that ball, it's starting to become a bit predictable,
Yes.
I think.
You know what? You're right. You feed somebody the same thing all the time, they're going to get used to it. At this level especially, Trey. Good idea. Right now it's 5-1, ladies and gentlemen. And 15 love, and it looks like Westmo is just rolling. I formation. Awesome return. But, from what we've seen in this match, guys, I was going to say, I thought that was long. I was going to say this is far from over yet. I'm telling you, I think we can get another couple games out of this. Got to figure the banana and the Gatorade, maybe not. The banana and the Gatorade are going to kick in sooner or later for Dave Pollock. All right, 30 love. I might be wrong. This is why I don't trade stocks for people. And well, I shouldn't. Good drive. Nice get. That's nice touch. I think you mentioned it, Trey. That you could do the same thing. You could say the same thing about rollers. You hit it too many times just as hard, they get used to it.
Absolutely. I think the biggest asset that we can have at net is variety.
Yep. Nice chip.
Which is what Dave Bukowski's bringing a lot of.
Yep. Oh,
needed that one.
All the work Tom Fawcett's been doing, I think he almost deserves that. I'm not rooting for anybody in particular because I can't do that. But, all right, 30-15. And here comes a match point. Just a slight miscue from Tom Fawcett. Brings a match point for Westmoreland here. Let's see if they can convert it. Oh, and there it is.
He brought it back. That's a great match.
Unbelievable match. Oh, and then Bukowski just, speaking of golf, because we do have golf here at the Glenview Golf Club, Dave Bukowski just batted one out of the facility right there. Well, who said it? This couldn't have been a better match to end the season, guys. I mean, come on. 3 sets, battle like that. I mean, for Westmo to come back like that and get 2-1 after losing the first one 7-5, amazing. I want to say a bunch of thank yous. First of all, to the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, Dr. Robin, Dr. Brian, and from the Illinois Bone and Joint, Trey Scott. What can we say, man? Sitting in, coming off the bench, if you don't mind my saying, man,
Pleasure
unbelievable
to be
job.
Here, guys. It
No,
was a pleasure to be here.
did a great, did a great job. And Cal Noble, I don't know, there are no words, Cal, and I really don't want to come up with any.
lot.
No, seriously, great job. And then hopefully listening at home, Matthew McClure. I know you're probably face down on a hard floor after your back surgery, but man, couldn't have done it without you. And then John Noble,
And everybody
absolutely, Ben
at the
McKnight,
CPTC.
and everybody at the CPTC. Thank you so much for a wonderful season, and I mean that sincerely. I mean, I joke around a lot, but I try not to choke up when I get to these moments, guys, so bear with me there. But anyway, so I just want to say thank you all for listening and watching, tuning in all season. We have enjoyed every minute of it. Hopefully you have as well. And we will see you next time, maybe even I don't want to say next week, but next season on CPTC. Stay tuned and enjoy your paddle.